Alrighty, welcome back everyone to another episode of The 12, our epic campaign of discovery and adventure across the continent of Corvair. This story will stream live Sundays at 6 p.m. Central here on Javelin Entertainment, and if you missed the last session, you can check it out on the channel or by clicking the link down in the description. And we'll go ahead and jump right into it here, hopefully. Oh, there we go.
Last week, as the sun began to set across the remote islands of 7th, more hounds emerged from the darkness to confront our intrepid new group of adventurers. This time, the hounds had a few new tricks up their sleeve, with wails that left our explorers dazed and confused and a gaze that I couldn't believe. Things look quite dire. Okay, Tiny was left immobilized, Junkyard Joker was pinned down by two particularly feisty hounds, and the Yellow Princess tried to hold the line while the others attempted to turn the tide. The miniature giant finally got aroused enough to grow up to his full potential and smashed right through his second hound spine. As the combat rises and fell with climatic strikes and curious blunders, a deep roar revealed a new player to the field. The hefty ursaline creature quickly bisected the poor tagalong scribe and completely ignored Cade's spike growth to confront the fully-enlarged, rock-hard head of the giant's hammer. The Piecewise Physician nearly sacrificed his life for some deep cuts into the bear's hide, but pops out another appendage to provide just enough protection. Our Gallant Gunslinger nearly got drug away, and the Stony Strongman was locked within his own stony prison when trying to target this very dangerous creature. Okay, fine. The fight was rough until Missy One-eye swapped to a dagger and drove it straight through the bear's third eye. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that thing had extra eyes too. This place is quite creepy. With the massive creature fallen and the path to Elysium now open, will our spunky protagonist finally be able to get off this island of eyes? Let's tune in to find out.
So, as you all have recovered somewhat from the initial impact of this fight, it has left you injured, some more severely than others. Is there anything you all are doing at the end of this encounter? Oh, and actually, before we get into that, I will mention a couple of things. Couple things for Cade, who was gone. Two things of note happened that may be useful to jot down. Is that Cade saw Jasira pull some sort of black essence out of one of the killed hounds into a gemstone on a ring, and she also saw Boko do something with a dagger to cause another prosthetic arm to sprout out of his back and grab a second shield. And in the meantime of this fallout, the Shalt is going over to Boko and using his last cure wounds on him to try and heal as they go off to try and begin some repairs onto Boko's damaged prosthetics. And I'll roll that here in a second. But in the meantime, what are the rest of you guys doing?
Well, what's his name? Gare. What was the other half of him? He's
Dang.
He's right and truly dead. I'd assume.
You look over.
I think that was Garrett.
Yeah, you look over and you see.
But is this the Rhett half or the Gare half?
You look over and you see the organs and tissue just torn right above the waist, and you see the legs just in a pool of dark red.
Oh, well, I can't do anything to help with that. Not enough shine in the world to cure that.
Rest in pieces.
Poor Gare. He was going to tell him so many good stories. Or at least he was going to try. I don't think we should just leave him here, do you? And Clyde is going to start... Well, Clyde's going to start going through his shit.
Roll me an investigation check.
Practical.
He's mostly looking for, let's see, investigation. There we go. He's looking for any writings he may have had that he made last night or the day before, like his last works or maybe a letter to someone.
So as you begin to kind of look through, and he does have pockets, he does have kind of his belt that is that was around his waist. You find some coin in there. You find kind of a holder that seemed to be attached to his side that had multiple different scrolls, but they appear to be blank. And at first you don't see anything like what you're looking for. But as you kind of look from another angle underneath some of the trees, you do find a portion of his arm, and nearby, just a bloodied leather-bound tome.
Ugh. Well, Clyde's going to take that and try and wipe off as much of the blood as he can off of it.
Yeah, you get at least the liquid portion off, though it's a bit stained. And kind of opening it up, you find some thick parchment pages. And the first section, about the first quarter of it, is scribed into it a few what look to be arcane spells. Clyde, you've seen these a couple times before, but often many wizards will carry with them a book that has the spells that they know. And so you see a few of them kind of scribed into the front portion of these pages. And it looks like the back half is closer to a journal. Kind of flipping through the pages, you see entries that are dated and marked with a short piece written for each of them.
All right, cool.
Was there anything in particular that you're looking for, or just trying to find something?
He was wanting to see the last bit because he was wanting to have a last writing. So, if anything, if Clyde gets inspiration, he's gonna try and work it into some sort of tale with this whole thing that's going on.
Yeah,
we just want better last words for Garrett than.
Yeah.
roll me an investigation check.
I can do that. Probably won't be as good as that first one. Better than average.
So you kind of flip towards the back, and the back is more of an itemized list, as if like quick thoughts as moving quickly, kind of quick observations about the group, about what you're walking by, about things that you guys were seeing or hearing, and it doesn't look so much as like a journal entry as just something that would later be turned into more detailed, more in-depth thoughts. And the last one scribbled on the line here is a note about Roland, actually, and about how he moves through, deftly through the underbrush and the leaves silently.
Okay. Clyde's just gonna take that journal. He's gonna pack it away for now to look through it more detail later.
All right. Is anyone else doing anything in the aftermath of this battle?
I think me and the Schalt are just wrenching on the rest of my prosthetics to try to get them back into working order, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I love where this conversation's gonna go.
It seems that the Schalt is surprisingly quiet as you work away, and is, at least in the moment, more observative and carefully watching everything that you do, but being helpful where he can.
But ever since he got the smell of that sort of necromantic feel, he's been a little bit skeptical.
He's definitely kind of taken on a different light ever so slightly. It's still the very jovial person, but it's quieter, at least in this moment.
Oko doesn't talk much, so he'll just sit there and continue.
How is Boku looking? Because I remember he had like his arms savaged and the rest of him pretty savaged.
He was what they refer to in the business as close to ghost.
Seeing corpses that look a little better than Boku right now?
Yes. Accurate.
Well, most corpses don't have a tree for a leg, so, you know.
Hey, Nicholas, did you really go through all my spells?
It was a time. I don't think anyone has any spells.
Okay.
We did all go through everything.
Yes.
Yes, all your spells were actually used.
Like, if you want pain relief, I can help with that. I can knock you out and then spare the dying. So conscious but stable for a
Drag
few
you
hours.
along.
Nah, but if Boku's still looking real rough, Clyde will offer you a sip of the good stuff.
Did you get the healing from Thashalt already?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes. So with that 6 hit points of healing, that puts Boko at a grand total of 7.
Well, I can give you stamina points. I can't give you any hit points.
Oh, this is stamina points.
Okay, those I can give you.
But absolutely, if
Danger!
if Clyde does
will
walk
offer
up, Boko will accept. Actually,
Okay, please make a Constitution save and get 2d4 plus 4 stamina points.
Constitution save. What's the Constitution save for?
Don't worry about it.
You're drinking the moon.
Ooh. All right, Boku. Well, the healing works. You want to roll your healing, but as it's healing, you feel like another force kind of occupy your body with you, and you can tell your eye. You no longer have control over one of your eyes, as it seems to be looking slightly around, as if someone else is viewing your surroundings with you. And it will be the effect you are poisoned for 1 hour while under this effect. Oh,
Okay.
it's like you got a partner, Boku. Don't worry. Mostly harmless. They don't take too much.
What the fuck? Yeah, Boko's had people try to invade his body before, so this should be interesting. Once he gets his leg in working order, he's gonna try a seance and see if he can figure out a little bit more about this. Which I think would be
What
a perfect
has
time
Roland
to
got himself into?
finally break out the second use of
Don't
this
worry, it
item
ain't
that I
nothing.
have.
The moons just want a little something from you every now and then for the curing they give you. They
Did you
just
say
want to.
balloons?
Nah, the moons.
How much was the healing? Was it worth it?
2d4 plus 4.
It's better than nothing.
That's
Are we gonna perform another eye
hilarious.
surgery? Is that happening?
Nah. Don't worry. They'll only hang around for a little while.
I got you,
We'll be
Boku.
fine about an hour or so. Just sharing your experiences as they share in your pains.
Yeah, Boko is sort of clutching one eye. What is this?
Don't worry too much. You see, when you drink the moonshine and it cures you, sometimes the moons want to take a little bit for them. Not malicious, mostly. But just want to see things through a different eye. Have an experience. It's real bad when they start giving you some of their own. That's when you get freaky.
Boko
Don't
looks
worry
at
about
Clyde with his one good eye. It goes,
That
that is not reassuring.
don't
Considering
worry.
the
nothing
number
bad
of
happened to
multi-eyed
you.
monsters we just fought, and he's talking about giving us extra eyes.
Nah, they're just gonna look through yours. You're gonna get extra.
I'm so concerned. What the fuck just happened?
Don't
Do you
worry
want to
about
make an
it.
insight check?
Boko is less interested in what Clyde is saying and more interested in what the fuck is wrong with his eyeball.
Do you want to make a medicine check?
You
I
are
would
poisoned
love
for
to.
1 hour.
I would love to make a medicine check.
So, Boko, everything about this is a little bit odd, and it is just ramped up to 11 by Clyde's wonderful addendum.
Interpretation.
Yes, interpretation. But you can tell that for the most part, a lot of this is just some effects of very strong alcoholic fermentation.
And if you want to roll insight,
That could be a whole nother story.
This is interesting. Yeah, I think Boko did trust Clyde for a minute there, and then got his eyeball hijacked. So
Yeah, and then you get a broken grin from Clyde.
yeah,
Don't worry, now you gotta be feeling better.
yes, indeed he is. But I think he's in good company.
Yeah, have you seen the rest of you guys?
Fair point. Yeah, Boko is very skeptical. He's looking at Clyde like he's got 3 arms or something.
No, that's you.
Boko's going to do his best to ignore the eye and focus on trying to fix his leg, and then if he has some time later, he's going to try to, or if when we settle down to rest, he's going to try to see if he can borrow some knowledge and see if he can figure out maybe somebody else knows something about this.
Are you guys
probably do that before bed.
Are you guys attempting arrest, or are you pushing on any further? You're currently still kind of at the base of this waterfall, and you can see a long bridge extending maybe a few hundred feet above. And it's past sunrise now, but it's still not late.
So, needing to fix his leg, is he like immobile at this point, or
No,
what's the deal since I wasn't here last session?
No, most of the severe injuries are actually to his shoulder.
Boku did take a critical damage.
Yeah. Most of his injuries are to his shoulder, and so Boko is mobile. The leg was affected, but he's still able to walk on it. It's kind of just like walking with a bit of a gait.
Okay, so it's not like the leg's like half off and like we need to stop and fix this first.
It hasn't been garroted. No.
Or Cesarade.
Or Cesarade.
We're not having a great record, guys, on NPCs.
That's a good point.
Well, we're strong enough to move on?
Yeah, Clyde took almost no damage that fight.
Personally, I don't think we want to spend the night out here. We're looking a little rough, so perhaps
Amongst the corpses, no.
safer area might be better off.
Yeah, as long as we don't come in contact with anyone, I should be okay for a little longer. Looks at the Shalt, but just a little bit longer. A rest would be nice.
I took significantly fewer hits in that fight. And Roland will kind of motion for a torch to light, or I guess maybe does he have some in his pack? He'll figure out a torch and light it from Clyde's, and shoulder the rifle, torch in one hand, short sword in the other. We'll head out into the brush and look for forward.
As a question, how long do you think it would take him to fumble and try to find a torch?
Probably not too long.
Let's say Clyde doesn't have any more, but does
because if it takes more than like a minute, I think Desira could help out with that. He can cast a light cantrip on a lovely item.
Oh, that would be fantastic for us.
He would be
not blessed with dark vision.
Bit because he doesn't have torches in his inventory, so like he got snatched from a.
Give him a glowing stick.
Yeah, so let me see what she has. She'll probably give you a nice little arbitrary object to hold.
A shiny rock.
She will give you a light cantrip lit crowbar.
Oh damn!
I will hand out some other torches. I've got 3 of them.
Hell yeah!
Yes, she'll just be like hand over
Everybody
very
except for
quietly,
Roland.
like if you need points. Here you go.
Oh, thank you. And he'll take the crowbar that's kind of and you'll see him along the way, just like he's familiar with the level of magic at least, but he'll still be experimenting along the way with like taking his coat, putting it under the coat, going, it does blunk it out, and then pulling it back out, and then
do we see the light shine out from his sleeves when he does that?
A little bit, but for the most part, it's covered.
Yeah, it's something that he hasn't directly used before, so he's experimenting and figuring out how it works. Put it, like kind of like hang it on a tree branch and step away briefly, see if he has to be holding it, and then like, no, okay, cool.
Right, let's keep moving. You can be fascinated by light magic later.
Alright, so we're gonna keep moving?
Yeah, so Roland, if you would like
That's what
to...
the captain said.
Are you trying to move stealthily at all?
I mean, I'm holding a glowing crowbar.
Yep. So if you would like to try, it'll be a stealth check at disadvantage.
I will try to move without causing too much sound. But he's not going to be like hiding behind trees and rocks and in bushes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But he's going to try to avoid slipping, stumbling, cracking twigs on the ground, that kind of thing.
Okay. Go for it.
So disadvantage, you said?
Yes, a stealth check at disadvantage.
Okay, here comes the nat 1. Oh, it was a 2.
So, yeah, it's difficult because keeping the light out is the easiest way to go. But even with the light, it's only close by, and you have to be careful with this uneven terrain with all of the branches and leaves and everything. You're trying to step lightly, and for you're able to do a decent enough job. It's not like you're loud, but every so often you hear yourself step on a twig and you curse to yourself, knowing that you can do better. And begin to make your way up kind of this jungle path, further and further up the side here. And then go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay. Normal?
Yeah.
Or is that disadvantage if I'm trying to see something beyond the torchlight?
Go ahead and give me a normal one just for now, and it's just affected. It will affect the DC based on the torch.
Ooh.
Alrighty. So, looking forward, it's fairly easy to find the path here. It doesn't look like it's well worn or often used, but there is a bit of a very basic dirt path from the base of this waterfall up the side of it. And you can find that it weaves its way up a kind of a switchback trail as it follows up the side and eventually reaches this wooden bridge across the edge of the waterfall. And you go and can relay that on to everyone else.
Okay. Let me check my spell list real quick. Nope. Okay. I forgot I had guidance. That would have been helpful for the stealth check. Might have gotten me to double digits. But yeah, no, he'll, after finding the bridge, just not seeing any threats along the way, he'll head back and report.
All right.
And probably turn around and find out the entire party is just like right there.
No, you've kind of gone off a little bit further ahead. I mean, it's definitely not a considerable ways, and they've been able to kind of see your light from afar here and there. But you do kind of come back and report to everyone and give them kind of a layout of what they expect, and you all begin to traverse up the switchback trail. And eventually you do all come upon where this bridge is covering this gap, and the waterfall is crashing down beside, and it is still very dark here as the sun has set, and even with the torches and the lights, there's not too much that you can see past the spray of the bridge, and it probably goes maybe a few hundred feet across this gap to reach the cliff on the other side. and you can see that this bridge is old and some of the boards have kind of worn out, and there's a few holes along the way, stretching maybe 5 to 10 feet across.
Okay, I was just about to ask what condition the bridge was in. For the parts that are still there, are we talking like the rope looks like it's frayed and about to snap, or like weathered but manageable?
Give me an investigation check.
Can I assist her with that?
Sure, you can roll it at advantage, Cade.
Lovely.
We're rolling well tonight, guys.
Cade, you're used to seeing and
Bridge.
feeling ropes that are hempen ropes, and being able to instantly tell what the quality and the condition of a rope is based off of the ship. What these are much less refined, and they're more plant-based, almost like vines, and they've been woven in a similar way, but they're small, tight vines that form this. And so, at least in the dark, trying to figure it out with your grain, dark vision, and just by feel, it's not something that you're used to, and you can't quite determine the quality that you're looking at here.
Well, this is not good rope. This is shitty vines. So I'm not going to swear by its condition. Just putting that out there. Really can't make good rope. It's not that hard.
Man, might not come out this way much. Who needs to go out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere with fucking eye dogs and shit out here? No wonder the bridge is in disrepair.
Well, which brave, perhaps lighter soul might want to
Yeah, I knew I was going to go first. Give me a rope. Fucking the other one weighs half a ton, but he's only 2'4". Let's see, do I have any rope? Someone better have some rope in this party.
It looks to be a couple hundred feet, Bree.
Jeez.
Oh, so like a bridge.
Yeah,
Great.
it's a bridge.
A
Like
bridge.
it's a ways.
Well,
Give me a rope, I'll bring it across, and then you can walk holding on to that, so if it falls, at least you got the rope.
Well, I think
Well-
hearing all this, Jasir will pull out her 50-foot of rope. Like, you want this?
I have
a rope,
50
but I
feet
have
of
another
good rope
crowbar.
myself.
Take the crowbar.
Yes. Best to be prepared. Am I right?
Alright, who's best at tying knots? Let's see if I still remember this. Clyde's gonna try and tie himself a nice little harness around his waist.
Can I take a look at that with just my experience working on a ship and make sure that he did it right?
Oh yeah, because
Lifeline.
Sure, roll me a survival check with advantage.
Alright.
Roland.
Advantage, survival.
Oh, good.
Oh no, not good.
Oh,
That's a good knot. There's a good knot.
Looks good to me. Good luck.
Can't tie a knot, you tie lots. Well, Mama always said.
anti not tie.
And Clyde really has tied about 3 or 4 of these different knots into a giant ball at the front that is just attached to him, and has probably lost a good couple feet of the rope. And so it's maybe 46, 47 feet instead of the 50 long.
Alright, so I don't think this is going to make it. Well, this has been fun and all. Got any more? Anybody else? Otherwise, I can get across. Pretty easy, but...
Cade will just take the end of Jasira's rope and will tie a very, like, nice firm knot that you use when you, like, tie your ropes together and rock
A proper
climbing.
knot?
Yeah. So we'll do the double, I think it's, yeah, double figure 8 there and get the ropes tied together nice and tight.
Alrighty,
Alright.
so Cade kind
You're
of
not
gives
trusting
it.
yourself to just a square knot?
Cade gives it the once over and does what she has done
man, it's a good
many
thing
a
Clyde
time.
doesn't weigh a lot. Alright. Clyde is going to give his backpack and his still to Cade. Alright, if I fall, at least this ain't gonna go with me. Please bring it with you. Don't leave it over here and make me come back for it.
I would never leave good moonshine behind.
Oh, thank goodness. And
on the other hand,
Oka rolls
see how
one
the
eye.
rope holds.
Good moonshine.
Hey man, Cade saw that shit literally come from the moon.
Oka
It
can't
just,
see
you know,
shit.
demands a little sacrifice of an eye.
That's for a little while. Just borrowing.
Just minor. See, I only
Alright.
have one good one, so I'm not too excited about
Yeah,
that.
you'd be pretty screwed.
Sindri?
You feel an eyeball
Perhaps you
form
can be
and
the,
move under the eye patch.
Oh, he has no eye patch. The
It's just a scar.
glaring scar is just out there for everyone to see.
Lovely. But if we got some rope tied around Clyde, he will start walking across this bridge.
Okay, we got that fixed. Carry
Ah,
on.
yes. Is there a way that we can add some steam power to this bolo?
Always add steam.
Perhaps in the launching mechanism.
No, so you get that extra spin afterwards.
Yeah. So we attach a steam jet to both of the
each
tiny
end.
people, and then we launch you, and then both of you have a steam jet that just goes.
Oh my
Does
god.
anybody know enlarge reduce?
Not yet.
Could put them in the hydro cannons.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways.
So,
Oh my!
Clyde.
If we cast reduce on Sindri, we can shot put him, and then we can drop reduce, and he'll go back to 3 feet, and then he can enlarge to giant, and we'd have the giant shot put.
Yes.
Giant fastball special.
Yes.
This is the plan. Sindri is 100% for this.
Alright, somebody's gotta get a sling so you can launch that little dude.
All right, so Clyde, as you begin to head out onto this bridge, go ahead and make me a dexterity check.
I can do that. Not at advantage. Ooh, nice 18.
Yeah, so as you are heading out over this bridge, it is a bit creaky, but for the first kind of section, it holds pretty well. And you make it over the grass, and people
Can Clyde, when he's going through, can he look and try and see if there are any weak points in the bridge?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and make me, we'll say, an investigation check as you're doing this.
Yeah. A 12.
Okay.
That's not great.
So yeah, you step forward, and holding onto the sides, it holds pretty steady. And you walk forward, and you get out over the grass, over the initial kind of rock face, and over the ground below before you even reach the river. And up until now, it seems pretty sturdy, and then you feel the rope get taut. And you're about at the end of the rope.
What did it learn?
Hey, you need to give me a little more slack. Low, and Clyde's gonna whip the rope up and down.
Does
And-
anyone else have rope? It can't be just Azira and I.
Did you tie two of
I
them
don't
together?
think I do.
Yeah, we
I have
got
rope
together.
two.
Okay, so
So it should be
My
like
bad.
90-ish,
yeah,
maybe.
So you take so the first section you kind of get through, and then you get to a hole that you can see in the bridge that's about 5 feet. It's got a couple of the planks missing or broken.
There's a spot here you gotta look out for. It's like it's right through. Oh, shitty bridge. Clyde's just gonna keep walking over it.
All right, and at this point the light is starting to go away. Are you carrying a light with you, or?
Yeah, he has a torch.
Okay, so kind of carrying the torch as best you can. You step over kind of the 5 feet. You kind of give it a jump, but it's not too difficult for you to do. And then as you reach, going a bit further, you feel a bit of give in the boards just from age, but none of them crack, none of them break. And you reach the 100-foot mark, and then it gets taut, and you're almost halfway across the bridge.
Oh, shit.
This is where you just like take a crowbar, make it into an impromptu python, and like tie it to the bridge, and then keep going.
Right.
You know, Jasira might actually have a python if you need that.
Does anyone else have rope? Rope is a very important tool, people.
What's the distance of the fall from the bridge to whatever lies below?
Well, yeah, am I at the distance now where I'm going to hit
If we've
the
got
ground?
150 feet, he's either just going to make the fall, unless we can retract the rope fast enough, or we're just going to pendulum his ass into the mountain.
Clyde cannot see the bottom of this ravine. He does not even thinking about that.
So, Boca, with your
Theoretically,
120
you would catch
feet,
on the bridge.
yeah,
Oh,
with your 120
Please
feet,
don't
you
drop me.
can see the ground beneath. It
I
definitely does
actually
not.
don't have dark vision right now.
Oh well, Sindri with his 120 feet can see the
There we
bottom of the
go.
ground, and even with 60 feet, Cade and Jasira can see the treetops. So at most, it's probably somewhere between 60 and 100 feet.
Cool.
Also,
I think
in
this
response
is
to
a rope longer than the bottom.
I mean, if he falls through, though, like, it's not like there's suddenly 100
That's fair.
feet of slack. It's going to catch on a bridge part, unless all the things
Or I'm going
shatter.
to. This is not going to go well if I fall.
No.
So let's just not. Clyde's just not going to fall.
I'd assume Gil would point out he has another 50 feet if we need more rope.
That's a good point.
All right, I think we need like another 100 feet if I'm at the halfway point.
yeah.
Well, we have at least another quarter, so there's
But
that.
also in response to Cade's comment of rope is very important equipment, I'll just turn to her and go, I was in a library in the middle of a city.
You
What
always need rope.
I
Why would you
need
not have rope?
for? In a library!
Your point?
Did you... Oh yes, let me go tie up these books.
Rope is always important, just pointing it out. Never know
I
when you
will
might
carry
get
some with
kidnapped
me
by
forever
space
in the
aliens.
future.
You get a message, Cade, in your mind. Hey, when's the rope coming? We got any more?
About 50 feet, or you're being a champ. Why don't you just untie yourself?
Ha, ha, ha. Comes back.
Or we know the first half of the bridge is safe. We can
Hey,
start
me,
weight
I'm worried
testing
about
it.
it. You heavy motherfuckers. That's
Yeah, we need to
So-
weight test the bridge eventually.
Clyde says that the first part's good. However, he wants more rope. He wasn't so inclined with the idea of untying himself.
Okay, so if we
so-
go with him and tie him to the bridge. If the bridge falls, we're all screwed.
Fine. It's fine. Cade, I guess Cade will just take the other part of the rope and we'll start walking out on the bridge.
Clyde, feeling the slack in the rope, will keep walking.
Actually, what I'm gonna do is the vine rope part, like, is it a continuous thing? Or are there, like, knots in it?
I mean, there's knots. It's kind of got these strands of vines that are tied to the main vine, which is continuous, and then there's kind of knots that tie it to the boards that go across.
Okay, Cade's gonna do, like, a little... Cade's gonna do two things. It's gonna be just kind of a loop around herself, and then, a slight noose around the actual rope part of the bridge, so that, like, if he falls, some of the weight will go through Cade, and then ultimately it'll be tied to the bridge itself. So if a foot falls, the
Cade's
weight's
gonna
going
fall
on
and
the bridge.
drag Clyde to his fucking death.
So
You got 100 feet of safety to go before you hit death.
Well,
No.
and
Cade can swim.
also think about this though. If Cade falls, there's like 4 feet of slack that's then tied to the bridge itself. So if Cade falls, the weight's gonna come on the bridge before it gets to
And then
you.
the bridge
Clyde's not
falls.
trusting this bridge a whole
Are
lot.
there-
The hole
Yeah.
and the rock.
are there like rope handrails on this?
That's what
bridge,
I'm
too?
imagining.
That's sort of what I imagined as well.
Kind of like a monkey bridge, sort of, with the walkway between.
Yeah.
Or does it have wood? It has wood.
Yeah, it's got the wood planks underneath, and then the wood planks are tied with like these vines up to the main kind of handholds that run the length of the bridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it
So
looks
we
like a
wouldn't be able
pretty
to
traditional
loop
rope
that
bridge.
and then move it along to
No.
constantly have an anchor onto that. That's unfortunate.
Oh, okay.
It's like a
I
pretty
thought it was
traditional
like-
rope bridge. I said rope bridge, guys. It's a fucking rope bridge.
No. It's a shitty rope bridge.
Indeed.
It's a rope bridge. When have you ever seen a rope bridge in a movie that was like fully functional and well made?
When have you ever seen a rope bridge in real life?
Yeah, I've been on one.
Yeah, I've walked on plenty of them.
Only on courses specifically made with them in mind.
Okay, fuck you.
Somebody actively had to make the decision. I'm gonna put a fucking rope bridge here, not out of necessity.
But because
Yeah, it's
I
an
could.
aesthetic.
Oh my god.
This is clearly not an
There's some
aesthetic.
really cool ones in like Europe in the mountains that you can't get the material to build a bridge besides a rope bridge. Those are really fun.
What I really want is like a Via Ferrata harness, but we probably don't have clips in our gear.
No,
I
we
think
don't.
I have
I have two artificers though.
We got.
I'm pretty sure I have caving equipment.
Ooh.
Do clips exist?
Are
in
you
this
sure
world?
the
I
Shalt
have
hasn't
something
stolen
that
your
could
caving
work.
equipment? That sounds like it has metal in it.
I have something that could work. Oko is gonna reach into his bag and pull out a pair of manacles.
I'm glad I can't see where this is going.
Yeah. And
Kinky.
Boku will call. How far is Cade in the bridge?
Well, no, Cade would have like
She's
talked
just kinda
this out
stepped out.
beforehand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Boku would have offered the manacles and he would have said, "You may use these. You may clip one to the rope around your waist, the other, piece by piece along the rope. It may keep you secure and anchored if you fall."
Yeah, so what Cade will do is actually, we'll like tie a rope, we'll put the rope through like the middle part of the chain, and so basically it's like a 2 anchor point manacle clip. So when you reach a knot, I'll just move the clip onto the other side of the knot.
Yep.
We're doing Via Ferrata gear here, man.
Okay. Cade just rolls with it. Roland is looking at the man who randomly pulled handcuffs out of his backpack.
Cade's not asking questions anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, just going like, how did... Okay.
With the high enough perception check, Roland would notice that they have his name on them.
Do they also have pink fur?
Cade's still
yet.
annoyed that that you don't have rope. Cade's still annoyed that you don't carry rope with you.
Was it a light?
I will say, if you go through Clyde's stuff, he's
doesn't
got
care
no
about
rope. That was not his plan for the day. All his rope was in his cart, not in his backpack.
Yeah, anyways, so yeah, Via Ferrata gear moving forward for Cade.
Slowly, little what? Get a couple messages. What is taking so long?
Yeah, eventually.
I had to come up with a makeshift harness, okay? It's fine.
Why the hell are you getting on the bridge?
We don't have enough rope for you to go all the way across.
Well, what the fuck is even the point? All right. You know what?
It's fine.
It's fine.
I'm anchored.
I'll be on the other side.
Man, if only this had happened during combat, when it was intended. Oh man. Okay, so Clyde, as you begin to be able to move forward again, feeling this kind of shift, you hold out the torch, and about 30 more feet down the bridge, you can see another opening upcoming. This one's a bit further, about a 10-foot gap, and will require at least a bit of a jump on your part.
There's a big hole here. Maybe if one of you guys can find not a plank. We ain't gonna get that lucky. Well, probably do one at a time. Wouldn't trust it too much. And Clyde's gonna walk on the rope on the edge, trying to cross over it.
You're gonna walk on the rope?
Like
Where the
On the
boards
bottom
meet
one,
the rope
hands
at
on
the
the-
bottom.
Okay.
Or I guess
he's not
not
gonna
here.
time
He's gonna be
walk
doing it
this.
here.
Yeah,
No, he's gonna walk
just
like a normal
understand.
human or
So kind of
normal
trying to
human.
like inch
He's gonna
across and
slackline
step
this
on,
shit.
stepping on
Yeah.
the vines. All right.
Make an acrobatics check at disadvantage because you're drunk.
You can go ahead and just roll me an acrobatics check at advantage for this one.
And 2. Hey,
Oh,
Yeah.
thank goodness for
So
advantage.
you're kind of taking it nice and slow, and it's the most difficult part is holding the torch in a way that doesn't get close to the plant-based vine. And so trying to inch it close, and you kind of feel the torch kind of moving closer, and you try to correct, and you miss a step and kind of have to catch yourself and pull yourself back on. But you get finally get over to the other side and continue on. And then maybe another 20 feet on the other side as Cade, you reach the first point and have to kind of step or jump over. And Clyde, you see another gap, this one now 15 feet of broken boards.
You know, this bridge is looking like a worse and worse plan. Every little bit further I get. This ain't
There's just
intentional.
like messages in Clyde and Kate's head.
Absolutely.
100%. Just little pings here and there.
So you know what we're coming up against. You are fine getting your. No one's going to make fun of you. No one cares.
All right. So as Clyde is stepping forward, Cade, are you keeping up, kind of moving along as well, or are you trying to push further ahead?
No, I mean, I'm basically just walking enough that there's like a little slack in the rope, so like Clyde's not constantly trying to tug forward, but
Yep.
I would probably keep the rope fairly taut so that if he falls, it's not a big fall, being the concept.
Please pay attention more to your footing.
I mean, it's pretty obvious if there's a bunch of slack in the rope or not. So, like, I'm just moving very slowly so that the rope is fairly taut, but not like he's tugging on it.
All right. And then Clyde, are you doing the same method where you're trying to slide along the edge of the
Slowly
vines?
scoot across.
All right.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw.
All right. Hey, get the motherfucker! Damn it!
Oh, that's so juicy. So juicy. So Cade, as you're moving along, there is that sound that you've just been waiting for and dreading, as there is a wooden crack, as one of the boards beneath Clyde's feet, as he's going to step off, just snaps, and he just out of panic just releases his hands entirely, dropping the torch and sliding out from where he was as he begins to go down. The rope instantly grows taut around you, Cade. Go ahead and roll me a strength saving throw.
Oh no.
Yeah, Boko sees the torch go, descend
climb
into
over
the
35
trees.
pounds. We're good.
Looks to Roland and
Can
goes,
I have an advantage because I'm also manacled to the rope bridge?
Yeah, I'll give it to you at advantage.
Okay.
Please.
Boko looks to Roland and go, well, he is dead.
It is a shame.
I was mainly hoping that my weight was like the counterpoint to this.
Yeah, so you're kind of giving a decent bit of slack, and suddenly all that slack is gone, and you are yanked forward, and you feel yourself kind of get pulled forward, and instantly there's a snap behind you as the manacles kind of tear through the vines, and one of the boards just kind of falls open underneath. But you're able to hold yourself on and hold Clyde where he is, and Clyde, you are now dangling beneath the bridge in total darkness. And hoping
Cade,
those
get a message.
knots.
If you don't tell anyone, I won't say anything. Please pull me up.
Meanwhile, Roland looking over at Boko, just going, all that work on the eye surgery, just gone.
Boku's like,
Yeah, I don't think any of you can see.
So they all
looks at you with
saw
one eye. The other one's like this.
they all saw the torch fall, is what they're talking
Oh,
about.
okay. Yeah,
Probably the crack of the wood.
Cade's just going to use the rope bridge and like leverage and just walk backwards. I'm not gonna try and like yank him up because I am the anchor.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna slowly walk backwards and like very mindful of my steps.
This has
As
got to be so
boards start
uncomfortable for
breaking
Clyde.
at
It's just
the-
up in his
at the
armpits and just
All right, so as you slowly step back, Cade, making sure to kind of hold on to this and pulling, Clyde, you hear the edge of the rope kind of grinding and sliding against it, but
wait,
eventually you feel the wood and are able to kind of pull and grasp and climb your way up onto the edge, and now there's a 16-foot, 17-foot gap in front of you.
All right.
But you are now in the darkness.
Well, this got a whole lot harder then. How far how far did we think we were from the edge? Did Clyde think he was from?
You were passing over the waterfall when this happened, and so you know that you're roughly halfway, maybe a little bit further than halfway.
You were gonna kill us all if this happened in combat.
Okay, get a message. Well, I fell through. I think I can keep going. Can't see a damn thing though.
Oh, well, perhaps that's not the best idea. I'm an anchor because, well, I'm not super heavy, but I'm heavier than you. I'm not very strong though, so you're very lucky I have a good grip.
Why'd they send you?
Well, because I think I'm the only person brave enough to step out on the bridge and be an anchor for you, and so yes, that's why I went forward. And I was banking on the safety device to work a little bit better, but these shitty vines.
Well, I don't think it's going to be any use getting any of the bigger people over here if it's falling through with little old me.
Well, what if someone threw you across the gap?
Okay, well, now, see, I'm not liking where you're going with this.
I am.
I'm loving this.
Like a little shot put.
Nah, I sink too much. I get halfway and I'll fall.
I mean, if you get a 45-degree angle, that's like optimum distance.
What good's that gonna do for anybody else? I'll be on this other side, passed out, and y'all be on the other side of the bridge, unable to get over because our rope's only 80 feet long.
Well, others might be able to jump.
I love it.
But so, if one person can make it across, we could make
It doesn't even matter because the rope's bullshit.
Well, then untie yourself.
All right, I'll meet you on the other side then. Clyde's gonna untie himself, take his bullwhip all around and tie himself around his wrist to the rope, and walk the rest of the way.
All right.
In the dark, slowly, very slowly.
And the way you have to do
Cursing
this,
up a storm. You don't even need message. You can just hear Clyde cursing into the wind.
the way that you have to do this to get this to work is it's kind of wrapping the bullwhip around one hand and kind of sliding it along the rope and then holding it tightly with the other.
With the other side.
Yep. And then kind of inching along, and as you hit each knot, kind of cursing as you have to swap it to the other side. As you just continue to feel your way along. And first things first, you feel your way along this 17-foot gap. Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, that's sure. That's not too bad.
All right. So you hold your will as best you can, perhaps out of pure spite, but you work your way across this gap and kind of eventually kind of testing it with a foot, kind of reaching back, and you don't even realize that your eyes have been closed, and you kind of open them and it doesn't look any different, but you kind of step back and feel that board and kind of slowly ease back onto it before kind of moving step by step. And Cade, you do feel the rope go slack. What are you doing?
Well, more poles than I thought. I'm just gonna pull the rope in, and I'm actually gonna go back up the rope bridge to kind of tell the rest of the group what's going on and probably formulate a new plan and tell them that Clyde almost fell off the fucking bridge. So I'm
all
gonna
35 pounds of them broke this bridge. How the fuck is Sindri getting across? Okay.
So yeah, when I get back to
35 pounds concentrated across the area of a rope on a board that broke one board at a time.
He's the same size as me.
How much does Sindri weigh?
Yeah, I was about to ask.
Like 160, 170.
Oh, we're fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
Like a normal person's weight.
Yeah, just
in a small person's body.
Condensed.
Yeah, Roland is 148. We're fine.
So how
So
did
what I'm
the
hearing
boards?
is Sindri goes last.
How did
the boards feel walking backwards? Do they feel sturdy-ish?
Yeah, I mean, Cade, all the ones that you stepped on, outside of the ones that are clearly broken that you can see, the boards that are there have felt sturdy.
Okay. So I'll make it back to the group. Well, that was fun. So, as far as I can tell from what Clyde said, he made it across. He did fall in a hole. I managed to stop him from falling on the way. And then he promptly untied himself from the rope after he got back up, and I think he made his way across.
How wide is this gap?
Absolutely.
About 100, little over 100 feet?
The kind of gap in this valley? Yeah.
I was just seeing if I could still give messages to Cade.
The bridge is multiple. You're at least 150 feet away from Cade.
Yeah. Clyde is just finding a tree and laying against it.
Oko has an idea. So we've got 150 feet of rope, right?
Yep.
Well, Oko will...
Cade will report just real quick. I will say, the boards seem pretty sturdy. There are a couple gaps where boards have rotten through. I'm not entirely opposed to, a chain of, 3 people at once, and then you anchor each other in case someone steps a foot through.
Or we have enough rope for half the bridge. Yes?
Tie it at the middle point.
Tie it at the middle point. Or someone anchors at the middle point and pulls the rope back and then walks it back.
Fine by me.
Oko will raise a hand. I think I may be able to make it.
As in across, or you want to be the anchor point in the middle? You're looking a little banged up.
Oko just says, I think I can do it. It depends on the argument that I'm about to make to the DM. Highly dependent.
So, anchor point or making it across? Sorry, just to be clear here.
Oko says, I will anchor the rope for you.
Yeah, and as long as it's not me, Clyde was light. I'm not very strong. I'm not going to guarantee that I could brace against any one of you falling through the breach.
Well, Sindri could.
But nobody could brace Sindri.
But all 6 of us on the other side could.
Sindri
Since he'd be the last one
himself.
across.
Not that far. I feel like There's a lot of shade coming over to my weight over here.
No
You are
offense,
quite
Sindri.
impressive specimen of rock, is all we are saying.
Yeah, trying to drag you off the ocean floor was like trying to literally drag a sack of rocks.
We're not afraid of you and your weight. We're just afraid of the associated gravity.
And the impact associated with it.
It's not the fall that kills you, it's the sudden stop at the end.
If you think about it, you are a self-proclaimed giant, are you not? I mean, you should be proud of that.
I do think
the strong
Sindri
way.
would be a decent anchor, but if Boko's willing to do it, are you capable with your arm in its current situation?
So Boko can tie the rope in the middle so we actually have an anchoring point. Would that be a
I
decent
think we
option?
need someone on the rope to help pull someone up who falls through, is the thing, and the only person with a strength score for that is Sindri.
Well,
Sindri's just like flexing over in
let's
the corner.
fuck it. Let's do
This
it.
is why
I'll go with
everybody needs rope, but thematically it didn't make sense.
Sindri. I'll go with
I was in a library!
So, Sindri, you think you can be an anchor then?
Yes.
Okay, then you head out with the rope tied around you, and then when you get about halfway, use the extra to tie it to the bridge and yourself, and then someone else will come along past you to the end, untie when they get across, you pull the rope back, and repeat.
It's worse than a door.
Alright. In the meantime, Clyde, give me a perception check at disadvantage.
Literally, what's gonna fuck
Oh, he's
me
gonna
up?
get eaten on the other side by
He's gonna get
himself.
Chezarade while we're doing this.
Alright.
1% of the time gets eaten. It's
Clyde,
great.
you are able to feel with your feet carefully and find that there is one more gap in front of you, and you kind of wrap the bullwhip around, and I need you to make me one more wisdom save as you begin to inch across.
Yep. 11. That's not great.
You inch across the first step, you inch across the second step, kind of reach out, and there's still nothing there. Kind of inch across the third step, inch across the fourth step, reach out, and just your hand, sweaty, just begins to slip, and you kind of fall backwards and just and fall right back onto the wooden planks. Luckily, this was only a 5-foot gap.
Hearing the scream, Boko looks at Roland and goes, "Yes, he is definitely dead."
Not
I don't know. I don't know. It was a very short yelp. I feel like falling the full distance, we would have heard more.
Oh, definitely. It's a scream all the way to the bottom, and then it cuts off abruptly.
I did not expect Cade to get involved in this.
Yeah, just the one eyebrow you can still see goes up, and just
Boko and Roland look at each other and then both look at Cade.
yeah, and then look back at each other and kind of shrug and be like, okay.
Alrighty. So Sindri, are you headed out then?
Yeah, I will tie the rope to myself and I guess start walking.
And the rest of us anchor him and
hope for the best.
yeah, hope that he doesn't shatter every board on the bridge if he falls.
Oh, just stomp, just cracking
No.
everyone.
I'm worried about like falling through a hole and then the rope just goes
Oh,
all the way back.
Well, we did not expect to happen.
Let's say Clyde's gonna be on the side all by himself, and the next seeing eye, whatever's coming to attack him, probably like worms or some shit.
Oh yeah, you might
We'll
get
meet back up.
Chazarade, 100%.
We'll
All
meet
right.
back up when we learn to fly spell.
Oh no, it's gonna be bats. That's what
Sindri,
it's gonna be.
as you are walking along, you do find the first kind of 5-foot gap in the bridge.
And he should have some idea of where they are.
Jump.
Hopefully, Cade gave them some
Yes.
warning.
Yeah, I mean, like, I made it, 100 or whatever feet out before you untied yourself, so
Well,
I would have reported
the whole way
state.
until you were out of range, you were getting a very descriptive.
You guys know that there's
Play-by-play
about
with lots of
50
curse
feet
words.
out. There's a 5-foot gap. About 150 feet out, there's a 10-foot gap. About 200 feet out, there's a 15-foot gap, and after that, you don't know. And
Somewhere
so,
out there's a gnome.
Sindri, you reach the first 5-foot gap. How are you dealing with it?
Alright, do I know how the gnome dealt with this?
I was a halfling. Thank you very much, sir.
Small individual.
I think he just hopped over it. It was small enough.
Yeah, I think the first one I did. And I could see at the time.
Does the board on the other side look solid?
Give me a perception check.
Oh yeah, this person has freaking dark vision and can see what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
Imagine having dark
never mind.
vision.
Yeah, it couldn't be me.
Oh, what was the number?
I've got blind sight. I got 120 feet of dark vision. I can see
10.
what's up, but I can't roll perception.
So yeah, from where you're at, it looks the same as every other board. I mean, you're not familiar with bridges and construction, but it doesn't look rotted. It's not obviously
It's not made of stone.
degraded.
It's not made of stone.
It's made of this
So obviously a lesser quality bridge.
There's no metal in it too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just lame. If it's not stone and metal, it's
Come
just
on, man.
A stone
Both
metal
Sindri and
rope bridge.
Thishalt are quite nonplussed.
What are we doing here, Sindri?
Sindri is just gonna hop it then.
All right, you kind of hop over and it holds. You get to the other side and continue moving down about 100 more feet. So you're roughly about 150 feet, and you see that 10-foot gap that is now there.
Yep. Has anything felt weird so far? Everything seems to be holding fine.
It's creaking, but it's holding.
Alright, then Sindri is going to slowly over this long bridge develop an unjust comfort, and is just going to casually see the gap and do a slight sprint and jump over it.
All right, give me an athletics check.
Alright. I probably shouldn't go big to get advantage, so we'll go with normal.
I think that would be very entertaining.
Oh my god, why? Maybe I should have went big.
Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh.
What?
Oh my gosh! Get ready to pull, guys!
So, Sindri, as you're kind of just strolling along, just like, I've got this, and just goes and gives it a hop, and you just completely misjudge the distance, and you come up short, and your fingers and arms actually hit it, but you're so surprised you can't even grab on, and you just fall through. Luckily, you're right at the maximum of the rope, and so everyone just feels this top pull as you just swing underneath maybe 10 feet below the bridge and are caught. And at least for now, the boards hold.
Let's walk backwards. This is happening quite a lot.
Heave!
Are we all tied together like a big bunch of us?
You guys are all just kind of
when he
holding
goes
on
big,
and kind of
all
wrapped.
of you.
Exactly.
This is
Yeah,
How much do you weigh when you're big, Nick?
a lot.
Well,
trauma bonding.
take 160
my current
and
weight
multiply
times
by
64.
8, and then multiply that by 8.
What?
Yeah.
So 165 times 64?
Enough to break the bridge.
Oh yeah.
That's a lot of weight.
5 tons.
Oh, that's a delicious way. We could do something with that.
5 tons.
And we've talked
That's
about
why I'm
this.
waiting for
It's
the,
probably not
enlarged
gonna
spell.
be. It's probably not going to be exactly that much because the way that they do weight is kind of ridiculous when you're going
It
from
is,
tiny to
but
large.
That is
but
the math of the enlarged reduced spell. So.
regardless, it is a lot. That is the important part here, is that it is a
It's a
lot.
big boy.
But in this moment where he is still small, you guys move backward and are slowly able to pull him up and back onto the bridge. And Sindri, you're back where you started at the start of this 10-foot gap.
Okay, I'm awake now. Sorry! They yell back down the bridge. Thank you! I'm then going to back up again and like zone in as much as possible and like get a running stance. Like, oh, it's on bridge. And I'm gonna do my running jump again
Destroy you.
yes.
All right. Go
No
ahead.
longer concerned about the bridge breaking. It's now the jump.
Go ahead and roll me another athletics check.
Alright.
Okay.
They went up a little.
Yes, this time you're able to clear it. This is not a difficult jump. Had you not been so prideful and bold in the first one, you probably would have been fine on the first jump. But in this moment, you land on the other side, and you're right about at the edge of the rope. You have maybe a couple feet of slack where you're at.
Alright, is that like, do we know that's halfway across?
You know it's roughly halfway across. It's at this point, it is beyond your vision both ways.
I think I'm there. And I'm gonna start like tying the rope.
All right, who's next?
Cade will go.
And at this point, Clyde, you make it to solid land.
Oh, thank goodness.
Cade, you begin to move along the rope the first section of the way, and you make it to the 5-foot gap. How are you handling it?
Just a small jump over, hopefully.
All right. Yep. Easy hop over onto the other side, and the plank holds, and you continue on. As you're moving along this rope, kind of slowly, kind of edging your way through, while the others hold on each side of you. You now get to the 10-foot gap, and you can see Sindri standing on the other side.
Oh, he's just like right on the other side of the 10-foot gap?
And both of you can see there's a 10-foot gap, and then there's maybe 25 feet before the 15-foot gap.
Okay.
17-foot gap.
17-foot gap, correct.
Yeah. I'm assuming, just to clarify, Sindri, have you been like collecting the rope as more slack comes towards you?
Oh, I figured you guys were holding it like on both ends, where Sindri has it tied, and then everyone else on the other side has it. Still has the
are we
rope
using
down
it?
there.
I guess to clarify, group, are we doing that?
That sounds
I
like a
thought
really
it was
good
just gonna
idea,
be
so
in
we
the front.
probably should.
Oh, I'm so glad I'm already on the other side.
This is not supposed to be terribly difficult. This was supposed to be minor flavor on a combat before, but you know what? That's how it goes sometimes.
But we've had 2 out of 2 people fall, so record's going well.
But I say you gave us rolls, you knew we could fail.
I mean, yes.
Yes.
I'm very excited. I'm not gonna lie. Okay.
Okay, hold on. I'm
I
clarifying
don't want to
with
know what's in the river below us.
Uh-huh.
I am going to clarify with the group, because
I think
if we do the taut method, then we can only make it halfway. If we do you pull the rope in as the person gets closer to you, we can make it all the way across.
That's what I thought was going on.
Each time, yeah. And then Sindri's just going to
So
hang out
Sindri
in the
is just
center.
kind of pulling the slack into the emptiness. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Rather
Okay,
than
so-
collecting the rope, just wrap it around yourself. So if you fall, you yo-yo.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, Cade's just gonna, like, take a bit of a running start and be like, "Okay, Sindri, trusting you. Don't let me fall."
You got this.
I'm gonna take a running leap.
I love how no one is taking the Clyde method. And everybody's just jumping. Go ahead and roll
Just
me an
jump fucking, all
athletics.
right.
Go ahead and roll me an athletics
You all
check.
heavy people can test this bridge all you want.
Okay. Sindri, don't let me die! Fall.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
3 for 3.
Dude, we're not getting across this bridge. We're all gonna die.
Cade goes for the jump and just kind of is again, this is right over. This is right over where the waterfall is coming, and there's just a bit of dampness on the board, and it just slips, and she just begins to fall straight through the 10-foot gap. And Sindri, as you're holding on there, she doesn't fall very far, but as she swings over, you hear a crack, and the board closest to that 10-foot gap begins to just snap and break open, extending that to a 12-foot gap. And you're now standing in this middle.
It's like those videos of the people who try and take a running jump at like a diving board to get extra height and miss the last step and just go.
Yeah. And so you're holding on to her, and go ahead and roll me a strength saving throw, Sindri.
Alright, do I get advantage because I'm tied into the bridge?
Not for this, no.
Alright.
So you'll have advantage on something.
Oh my god! Wow.
Advantage, you have advantage?
Oh, you do not have advantage for this one. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said you had advantage.
God, this bridge is gonna kill us. My favorite boss so far.
You were like, oh yeah, she's got this. She's almost here. And as she just falls, the rope begins to just slide through your hands as you just are frozen for a moment as you see Cade just drop down below the bridge, and this rope is just sliding through. Go ahead and give me.
For the record, do Boko and I on the other side hear a long scream?
Oh, sorry, we're still just going. They're dead. Yep, they're dead.
You just hear.
They are definitely dead.
Bridge took 3 for 3.
Yeah.
Boko and Roland just do not want to cross this bridge anymore. They're like, we're going to go around. We'll take the extra day.
Fuck it. We live here now.
Climb the waterfall.
Okay. So. Gosh.
Long scream. That means death. Yes.
Sindri, go ahead and roll me one more strength saving throw at advantage.
Oh, please.
Okay.
Golly. Oh my god.
Oh.
I'm not that heavy.
No, you're not.
Oh.
I don't want to hear anyone complaining about their rolls.
Oh, this has been beautiful.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear you telling anyone else that you don't want to hear anyone complaining about the roll.
Okay, so Sindri, as this rope is just sliding out of your hands as fast as it can possibly go, you eventually kind of grab on and you're able to hold yourself up, but you feel an impact. And Cade, you're going to take 13 points of damage to your stamina as just as the rope stops, you slam into the tops of the trees as it just smashes against your back. Are you still conscious? Are you still conscious?
That's 60 foot, Clyde, and you have to.
I'm fine. I'm alive.
Okay. Yeah, so all of the wind is just knocked directly out of you in this moment, as you are barely held aloft and now swinging between the tops of the trees. And Sindri begins to slowly pull you up hand over hand. And it is the longest probably minute or two of your life before you finally get back up onto the planks where Sindri is, and you can hear them creaking under the weight of both of you.
Meanwhile, on the other side, the rest of us are going, so this bridge hasn't been kind to us so far. Is there another way around?
You guys can...
Oh no, the person with the map just
left.
Yeah, she does have the map. And Roland, looking up this is the edge of the mountain. So to bypass this, you would have to walk all the way around the mountain to the other side.
Would we go to the beach? Is that going around the mountain?
So you've got the beach that rises up to where you are now. The other side of where this waterfall is cliffs. And so the only way to reach this, at least without a sheer climb up the cliffside, which, call me crazy, but that might be harder than crossing a bridge, is to walk all the way around the mountain.
I don't know.
Some of us.
Someone
I don't
has
know.
some
I
climbing
think I might
gear
take my
and caving
chances
gear.
with
They
the
might
cliff.
be fine.
You're
Jazeera
welcome.
has pythons. We're good.
You're welcome to try the cliffs if you want.
Well,
but
I'd like to point out that I might have Titans. I apparently didn't type them in. If I did, I do have torches and a tinderbox, though.
Well, that's important.
oh
We
goodness.
No.
can burn this bridge after we're done with it.
Yeah, we can.
I have
No other
pigeons for
motherfuckers
climbing.
are getting over here.
Including, the rest of the people in the village that we're trying to save.
Sindri,
Right.
Sindri has some pythons,
Village.
so
You mean the people we don't know?
he's already
He's
across
already
the bridge.
halfway.
Yeah, the camp that is going to turn into a village if we have to leave them stranded there.
No, they're already eyeball people. Already.
Anyways,
Yep. So
Oh no,
does Cade make it
Octavius
back
eyeball.
up?
Yeah,
Yes.
no, I'm
We
pretty sure he already is an eyeball person.
We really
We
need
should have
to
thought
Octavius
Octavius.
all right,
doesn't
all right,
join
all
us.
right. Hold up. So back on track here. Cade, you have been finally pulled back up by Sindri. You and Sindri are on this about 25-foot section in between the 12-foot jump and the 17-foot jump, as you are just wrecked in this moment.
I thought you had it. I'm sorry.
You had it if I was going to fall.
So,
I got you.
Do you?
is the goal here to get to the other side and take a break? Because I'd like to set up camp, whether it's over here or over there. I don't care. But I need to heal if I'm going to risk death.
This was supposed to be an easy just walk across the bridge. No.
Okay, I have a question for you, DM.
Yeah.
When you wild shape, can you is there some leeway in how big your animal is?
You could just be like a bug.
Bit?
You can go into a small creature. You could have just walked as
No,
a half-ounce
no, fuck
this.
rat.
Cade is so done with this. I'm just like, you know what? We're just gonna make this a little simpler. Don't be weirded out by this, okay? And I'm gonna turn into a monkey.
So
Don't be weirded out by this, but
Sindri, you watch as Cade's form just shrinks down into a couple
You
foot
just
high
look eye
monkey.
to eye with each other.
And she just takes off just along the vines, just begins to swing and climb her way over. And within a matter of seconds, Clyde, there is suddenly a monkey that is just next to you, and you just hear it making noises, and it's just unnatural. It's just where did this monkey come from?
Clyde's gonna have the bullwhip up. The monkey comes after him. That's a big fucking man. A monkey the size of you. That's terrifying.
No, it's a small monkey. I'm monkey sized.
Yeah, it's maybe
Clyde
a
is
foot or 2 high.
2'8".
Oh,
It's half the size of you, 3/4. That's fair.
It's like a capuchin monkey.
Yeah. Nah, Cade's gonna make it to the other side, and then
You ain't
Clyde.
no eyeball, motherfucker, are you?
Yeah, no, Clyde. You just see the monkey come barreling across, and then once I'm on solid land again, it's just bam,
He
stretches up
doesn't
to
see.
Cade size.
No, I don't see anything. I just hear monkey noises.
Okay, you.
I am
you
alone in the dark, and there's monkeys coming
Monkey
towards me.
noises.
Good old monkey noises in the dark.
You hear a monkey noise, and then all of a sudden you kind of hear this odd sound of
Flesh expanding.
Bones breaking.
stretching.
That.
bones rearranging.
Gnarl sound of a body being crunched in a jaw.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you hear a little quick stretching, bone shifting noise.
If you
Then-
aren't Cade or Cindric, please don't answer.
Not to worry, just me,
Oh,
made
thank
across.
Oh, you're the one I wanted to come across. Can I have my still? I'm gonna need it after tonight.
I
Yeah,
forgot it on the other
yeah.
side.
Hopefully Roland will grab it. It's fine.
I mean,
my goodness.
I would have took the moonshine in the backpack. His backpack's probably still on the other side, though.
The moonshine's
As you
more
went
important.
off, and the monkey Sindri's just gonna watch you leave, be like, I knew she didn't need my help. How do I get the rope back to everyone else?
That was gonna be my next question. You took the words out of my mouth.
Come back without Cade.
But the rope is tied to the center of the bridge.
Yes.
And he's the one that can climb it if he falls.
I can try it. I'm feeling a lot
I
more
would suggest
confident in my
just throwing
abilities
the
now.
rope really far and yelling for people to come get it.
Just tie a rotten board around it and chuck it.
I'll take like one of the hanging boards that just broke off and tie the link to that and see how far I can chuck it.
Does he get advantage if he puts all of his anger into almost killing Cade into throwing it?
So
Maybe I should go big to get better.
These boards are still attached
Please,
on the
please.
sides. Like they've broken off in the middle, but they're still attached to the vines. Are you kind of ripping it off the vine and just tying it on and throwing it?
Or do you have a crowbar?
I do have a crowbar.
Flying crowbar in the dark.
Crowbar, light, tie, throw.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, is that light getting closer? Oh my god!
This is
I'll
my
try the
favorite
board first.
episode.
I'll take the board off the vines.
All right, how are you pulling the board off the
Dismantle this
vine?
bridge
Just
while
yanking
you're
it
on
off?
How is it connected?
It is tied through a hole.
Okay.
So if it is no longer there, the hole will probably be larger and the rope will go slack on the bridge that is currently supporting your weight.
Be fine.
Man, we're gonna have 150 feet between the party at the end of this session.
All right. I will try a crowbar. I'll tie it.
Oh,
Give me
it's gonna kill Boku. It's
Give
gonna
me a
kill
strength check. Boka, are you waiting for this? Are you waiting for this rope, or are you just headed across?
Oh, he's gonna be halfway.
Yeah. Are you beginning to head across, or are you waiting?
I'm just gonna head across. Yeah, I don't think I need a rope.
So you come up. You don't have dark vision. Do you have a torch?
I do, but I don't have. The way that I'm crossing this bridge, I'm not going to be able to hold it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I
How
think
are you
Roland is
crossing
the only
the
other
bridge?
one with a torch.
Boko just looks to Roland and goes, "It does not seem that difficult." And he's going to crouch down
Not that
because he
difficult.
moves as fast as he does walking as he does on 4 legs. And so he crouches down, and the braided, like organic matter around his leg unbraids into like these spider legs gripping the bridge, and he just creeps across it because he has a climbing speed. And so, holding mostly onto the 2 like top and bottom ropes, he just like across the bridge.
Just like Roland is about to like contradict the, how does it not seem that difficult? We've had 3 people fall so far, sees that happen, and just like eye goes wide and puts the crowbar under his coat so he doesn't have to look at it anymore.
Also, all we see is the light goes out at the other end.
All right, Sindri, give me a strength check.
All right.
Gosh.
As you now no longer have a light to aim at.
I must admit, that technology does seem to have some form of merit.
So yeah, you quickly grab this crowbar and kind of begin to pull and pry and finally just twist it and break it off. And as you kind of pull this board up, it does loosen the slack a little bit, but it's not anything considerable. And you begin to look up and you just see this spider-like Boko just crawling along at a crazy speed along the edge of the
like
opposite side.
speed.
Yeah, sprinting speed. Just flies by you across the edge and out of your vision onto the other side. And you're just like, what?
Sindri's just gonna watch this and be like, "What? Why are we needing the rope? Apparently, does everyone have some weird form to climb bridges?"
Honestly, I think the rope was really mostly for you.
I cannot wait to see the look on Clyde's face as he sees this gigantic spider rushing at him.
can't see.
Clyde can't see shit. He can't see a goddamn thing, and he is so happy.
You're just gonna hear gigantic spider crawling for you.
Oh, after the monkey
You
noise,
can just-
don't look at it. No.
Clyde, what you hear
Little
is you can
legs.
hear the bridge just moving, just this clatter of wood planks this as the bridge is moving incredibly quickly. And then there is just this kind of shadow across your vision as another entity just appears. And you hear the sliding of mechanical gears as the prosthetic refolds and braids back together. And you hear breathing and silence.
No, don't worry.
It's gotta be
just
Boko.
Okay. You know what? You guys are having too much fun. I can't see shit.
Hey, in my defense,
You were a
Sindri let me
monkey.
fall.
No, I don't want to. You fell. How did you fall? I thought that's what we were doing the rope for.
Yeah, well, apparently Sindri's not very good at catching rope, but it's fine.
Sindri's on the bridge. Oh, I'm so glad I went first. Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
so
next time I need to cross a bridge, I'm not trusting Sindri. I'm just gonna turn into a monkey again. It's so much easier.
You can just do that? That's some cat.
After
right,
Boko
yeah, why didn't you?
completely
Why didn't we just give you the rope?
me?
No, this is no, not Boko. Well, you too. The hell is that with all the legs? You
After
don't need to answer
Boko
something.
fully
Oh,
like
boy.
de-arachnifies, he looks down to Clyde and goes, "This eyeball is very strange."
Don't worry, it should wear off. It should be fine.
it's a good thing that Boko didn't have to make any checks because he was poisoned that whole time and would have been making them a
Yeah, he
disadvantage.
was.
Yeah, it is odd when a random eye being taken by someone else starts giving you abilities that you didn't display previously.
Yeah. That was very specific there, David.
Yeah.
Is there some trauma that you'd like to share?
Don't have good. Next person.
Yeah, who's up next? Actually, Sindri, are you chucking the...
Sindri's gonna yell down the bridge again and be like, alright, who else has some bridge transformed shape thing?
Does anyone else have some bullshit to cross this?
Adopt bridge climbing form.
Yes.
Okay,
No,
so
but I
who's left
kinda
on the other
just
side?
like
We have
this.
the Schalt, Jasira, Roland,
So-
and Gale.
Until
Schalt, if I had 100
And
pounds
Tove.
of metal right now.
so we have
No,
five
just
people.
shoot. He's just gonna use
Yeah.
the steam
Yeah.
to burst himself across.
Jasira volunteers, but she's just like, I just do this.
Like
And so far,
ninja
it seems to
anime
have
run
worked
across.
Naruto runs across the bridge.
Across one of the like
The
handholds
bridge.
just one of the rope
The
strands.
rope. Just the rope on the side.
Roll me a general acrobatics check for this.
Oh boy. For the record, I'm totally joking, but okay.
It's all roll nat ones, right?
Nope, it's happening.
It's
I sure
happening
hope
already.
not. Can I re-roll that?
Oh,
Can I re-roll that? I got an inspiration.
Oh yeah,
Because I was funny.
who did get the inspirations?
was
I didn't
funny.
check.
It was me, and I guess we count Roland for the vote that was
and
all Roland. Oh, that's the shawl guy.
Roland
That's
and
the first one.
Roland's rifle gets one.
Yeah, it was the Schalt, Jasira, and Roland.
Yeah. So I'm gonna like try that one more time and hope to God this doesn't go bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's gonna go great.
Hey!
All right, so
No swear.
as you call this out, Sindri, you watch as Jasira just kind of lightly not even a sprint, not even like Boko, but just kind of calmly walks across and just carefully stepping and finding her way, kind of stepping over more than hopping, kind of moving along the edge of the rope as she twists over the space in front of you and then twists over the other and is just gone. And you watch as Tove just quickly follows and does nearly the same thing as both of them make it to the other side. And now there is Roland,
Garrett
the
never would have
Schalt, and
survived
Gale.
this, by the way.
High fives.
Sindri's just gonna look at the rope. Why am I here?
Do you want to do the other side, Sindri, or are you waiting?
Like, yell back, is there any reason for me to stay in the middle of the bridge?
I think
Yes,
you're here to
yes,
help the
there
others
is.
over there.
the rest of us are smart, not fat.
What? You can't say that.
Yeah, you have two steam boys. No, all the steam boys are over there actually. So yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, the steam crew. Send Tove. Send Tove, the steam crew. Send Tove next. The steam crew will make our way across together.
Tove is already across. Tove followed Jasira like immediately after.
Grand.
You guys can steam each other over there.
Yeah, so it's the steamy boys. Okay, now would be a really good time for you to come up with 100 gold worth of metal.
It really would be, wouldn't it? But alas, we don't have that. However, how well do you think you're going to be able to make this jump?
Oh,
Maybe someone that fell in the water had metal on them.
I'm gonna go back to the beach.
I'm just gonna peek down. I don't think that's viable.
Maybe it was iron sand and it was all metal. You just had to gather a lot of it.
Could be, but I think I would rather make my job a little easier. Now, anyway, so it's me and Roland that are on this side, right? That's it?
And Gale.
Gale as well. That's right.
And
all right.
What's her name? Did she cross already?
Sabine is
Tove crossed right
Sabine.
over
You
to-
haven't seen.
Sabine.
Sabine
right,
disappeared in the
right.
fight, and you haven't seen her.
Oh, that's...
She's probably already across watching all of this.
I'm about to say just watching in the... just watching Clyde.
So, is anybody else on this side inclined with the ability to be able to get across easier?
I shoot things.
Okay, so
The rope was our attempt, and so far it's gone poorly.
All right, so the jump is probably not going to be great for the rest of you. I have a great idea if that's the
Well,
case.
it's if you weren't here, but it's more like 4 jumps over 150 feet of bridge that is rickety and ready to fall. And the holes
I
have
can give
gotten
you the
larger
rope.
every time someone has gone over because we suck.
It's not.
But I can give you a rope. I am there with rope, so...
Excellent.
Yeah, we saw
If you
how
can
well
make it
that
halfway, you'll be safe.
worked. Theoretically.
Or Cade will fall with you, or not Cade, Sender will fall with you.
Makes sense to me. Question. Okay, so we're all tied together or not?
No, we don't have enough rope for that. We have 150 rope for a 180-foot gap.
All right.
Oh no, you have a 150-foot rope for a 300+ foot bridge.
I stand corrected, but Clyde
All
can't
right.
see in the dark, so the last half of it was...
It was a fever dream.
Right. So if none of the rest of you have a way to possibly get over there, I believe I have a plan.
Oh god.
Roland looks
Oh,
down
I'm so
at
glad I'm already on this side of the bridge. I'm so glad.
Boko's
Roland
danger
looks
sense
down
starts tingling. He doesn't know why.
Roland looks down at Thashalt's last plan on his rifle and like looks up at him and goes, "Sindri, can you throw me the rope?"
Yes, the rope will be a good backup, so we will indeed be needing that. Sandre, please send over the rope.
Sindri, go ahead and roll me an athletics check.
Oh, chuck that crowbar.
Crowbar, like I'm holding my crowbar up in the air to give him a target.
Not horrible.
All right.
Did it make it?
You guys hear a clank of an object maybe 50 feet away. It made it a good portion, if not all the way.
Good enough. Roland sets out on the bridge with the lighted crowbar.
And Roland, using the lighted crowbar, you quickly find where the rope is and kind of reel in the slack. And you come to the first 5-foot gap. How are you taking it?
I'm not going to reel in the slack. I'm going to
Sorry, the
take
slack
the crowbar.
is quickly, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to
Sendry
take
is
the
reeling
crowbar
in the
off of
slack.
it, keep it, tie it around myself, and then tell him to reel in the slack. And I'm
Yep.
going to keep my crowbar out and go across slowly. When I get to a gap, Roland isn't fucking jumping. He's not an idiot.
I mean, you can make 5'1".
This
Nope,
first
that's
gap you can
5'1".
essentially step over.
Okay. He's still
I feel
going to
like
be
you
like
can't step over a 5
Unless you're
foot.
Sindri or Clyde.
hands on the rails, probably setting one foot on the rope, on the other side, and then
If you can
doing a
step
quick
over
hop
that, you need to
over.
tell me how long Roland's legs are.
It's
Because I need to reevaluate my mental image.
Again, it's kind of a hop. It's not just a step, but it's easy enough where it's not a check to step over the first
He is
one.
maintaining 3 points of contact with the bridge at all times.
Okay, noted. You step over or hop over the first one, and maintaining as much contact as you can, and continue on, and eventually come to a spot where you can see about a 10-foot, 12-foot now gap, and Sindri on the other side.
All right. Well, I suppose the rest of us should be able to make it over to at least that 5-foot one. We'll reevaluate once we get to the 10.
But yeah, no, then he'll go ahead and just kind of get 1 foot out, hanging onto the rope, and then he will, since the crowbar has a hook in it, he will use the crowbar as a hook to, like, as the going forward one type of deal, he'll hook it around a knot, and then shift the other hand, then the feet, then hook another knot, shift the hand, then the feet.
Man, I'm going to look at bridges differently from now on.
Right. But, like, he'll have the light in one hand, he'll be using it to, like, provide a point of contact, and if he falls, hopefully the crowbar remains hooked on the bridge, so he can still see.
Yeah, at this point, Roland, even with the extra weight kind of sliding along here, it's fairly easy. There's one point that is a bit odd because where you step on and you're expecting one of the knots, there's just this give where the board was broken away. But for the most part, you're able to hold firm as Sindri kind of gives you an arm and helps you across to the other side.
Okay.
Hey man, there's a bigger gap over there.
Yeah, you look ahead and there's about another 20 feet. There's about a 15 to 17 foot gap on the other side as well.
It's expanded a little bit.
You've got me, yes?
Yeah.
What was the scream earlier?
Nothing.
Sindri, roll me a deception check.
He already rolled the inside. Ooh.
Unless this is a natural 20, I can tell you what you're going to say.
Oh,
yeah. Sindri is
That's
just
a
kind
good
of
attempt.
like, she made it back up. Nothing happened, but you, like, putting 2 and 2 together, you know exactly what happened.
Just hold tightly. I'm a little heavy.
Hey, nobody died in any of the attempts I've been here.
That's good.
yeah.
Good to know.
The night is young.
And he'll start going across, same method.
Cool. All right. As you move across this one, go ahead and make me a general for this one. We're going to do athletics again. Do an athletics at advantage as you're crossing this section.
For 3 points of contact.
For just not jumping for no reason. Yeah, it's not difficult. You're able to slide across without much of a problem and make it to the next portion. There's one other 5-foot gap, but at this point you've got it down and you cross to their side and make it, leaving just the Shalton, Gale, and Sindri in the middle.
I'll untie the rope. I would have handed the crowbar back to Sindri that he used to throw the thing. And
I was about to say, he took my crowbar.
yeah.
Oh, now we've got 2 crowbars.
Yeah, no, I would have handed it back to Sindri, and I'll untie the rope and just be like, across!
Well,
reel it in!
he's got 100 gold of metal right there.
Aha! Wait a second.
Well, it might be good for Thishalt since he can't see either to have that.
Sure would be nice.
You can light something else for him, right? Roland is still hanging
the bridge on fire.
The lit crowbar.
All right,
Please don't
and you
do
guys can now see the other side, and Clyde, you finally have vision as Roland has made it to the other side. Thishalt, what's your plan here?
I mean, if we still need to get myself and Cade across, or not Cade,
Gale.
Zero. Oh no, Jazeera's
Gale.
gone.
Yeah, Gale's
Gale.
over here. That Cade is over there. Well, if we need to get myself a Gale, I suppose,
Oh, I'm scared. We don't have a good track record with NPCs and encounters.
I suppose we'll have Gale go next, just because, I mean, obviously we've already had a bit of an issue, and clearly I Should be all right. I do have a backup plan if I do have any problems.
All right. So Gale begins to cross. He hops over the first 5-foot gap. And I'll let Bree decide on this one. Bree, how is he getting across the 10-foot gap?
How you getting across the 10-foot gap? In the bridge, yeah. Are you gonna jump? Are you gonna are you gonna do some clever sidestep bullshit? I don't know.
Oh, he gets to be
Jump.
Well, he wants
gently attached to this until the NPC dies horribly.
He wants to acrobatics this.
Oh yeah, cartwheel across this motherfucker.
Roll me that acrobatics check, Bree.
All
This jump
right.
ain't nothing. Show us we're all a bunch of pansies.
Hey, it's a 14.
Okay.
Is
Hey,
that
not bad.
okay?
Yeah, no problem.
We barely
as
rolled higher
as
all
he
night.
just hops right across, Sindri, you see as he makes the jump just fine and kind of rolls
Oh, you did
across
good. You did good.
across the boards and just kind of tosses you the rope that he has and just goes for a second one. Go and roll me another acrobatics check.
Uh-oh. Okay, first one went well.
Yeah.
Hey!
Without any trouble at all, he kind of just
you.
takes the vines and just kind of jumps off of it and kind of slides along the edge of the vines into the last
Badass,
bit
you're
and
not
kind of
even
just
pulling.
runs across the edge, keeping his
Yeah.
momentum. It's some American Ninja Warrior stuff right there. And
Class
Thashal,
act. Let's go.
that leaves just you.
Great. All right. Well, I guess I'll wait for the rope to come back, and so I can actually see decently, and I'll just make my way across as I've seen.
All right, you.
How's the rope making it easier?
By the way.
Yeah, I think the only torch is on the other side. The only source of light's on the other side of the bridge.
Oh,
Do you have dark vision?
I sure as hell don't.
Ah, well.
So I thought somebody said
I
they
am
handed out.
dark as hell.
I thought somebody said that they handed out torches to everybody but Roland since he had the crowbar that needed it.
Oh,
I have 3 torches that I handed out to everybody.
Yeah, so Thashal, you would have a torch this whole time.
Right. All right.
But no tinderbox. It just makes the torch wet.
That is true. I do have
Between
to
all
do
of you guys, you have some way to light the torches.
you have to have a
It's fun.
tinderbox. Someone has to.
I can
so
Somebody
just find
does.
a heating
Wait,
flame.
how the shit do I not have a tinderbox?
Apparently not you. I
I
have a tinderbox. I can light it when you get here.
have
I'm
a
a
diplomat.
priest.
Okay,
I have a holy symbol vestments and a prayer book and incense.
my lamp has got to have one.
Anyway, so I have the torch.
Yep.
I guess I'm gonna make it across.
Yeah, you go and how are you handling the 5-foot gap?
I mean, I just gotta step across like
All
the other
right,
ones, right?
you
Just
step
3 points
right
of contact
across.
and do
Yep,
that?
and then you get up to the
Alright.
12-foot gap. You can see Sindri on the other side at the edge of where the torchlight is coming.
Okay, and
It's an easy jump.
Do I have the rope?
You've got the rope tied around you. Sindri's holding the other end. He's got just enough slack, so he's got like 15 feet of rope between you two. It's a 12-foot gap.
And I'm tied directly to him.
Yep.
Yes.
Easy
I
jump.
would think he would be fine.
All right.
All right, you kind of back up. Are
we'll
you
go
going
for the jump.
All right, give me that athletics roll.
He said it's easy.
You'd think it would be fine.
It'll be fine. Uh-oh.
Oh, I can know.
Not a nat 1 though. It's not a nat 1, so
Alright.
you're better than half of the party.
Strength save, Sindri. Come on, you gotta make one of these.
I swear. If
You
have one-
had better not drop my ass, I swear.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait,
So-
strength save though, right? Or is that the same number?
The
It's
save is probably even better.
probably
It's the
the
same.
same. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Thashal, you go to just run this, and you're not used to jumping at all. It's just not in your wheelhouse. You kind of jump and you kind of make it most of the way across and kind of grasp on, but quickly just fall underneath. And Sindri is ready for it this time and kind of pulls in the slack and is ready. And you fall maybe 5 feet before he helps you up to the other side.
If I have my stupid suit, Sindri!
What would a suit help you with?
I could
Would you make a
augment
makeshift
my
tie?
I could augment my legs to jump higher.
All right. And on the other side,
You can
Thashal,
build new legs.
More or less.
You're now
Like
face to
Boko?
face with a
His legs are
17-foot
cool.
gap.
Ooh.
Not like Boko, little different. Anyway.
I
So 17.
don't know about jumping that with how the other jump went.
I'm just going to look at him. I agree. Let's climb this one.
All right, so are you inching along the edges?
I believe I'm going to do that, yes.
All right, go ahead and roll me an athletics at advantage.
All right.
There we go, yeah.
Alright.
Easy enough as you've made this one. You cross and you step over the last 5-foot gap and make it to the other side. And Sindri, you are the only one left. And I assume the Schult is
Alright.
holding on to the rope this time?
Oh, absolutely.
We all are.
Okay.
Yes,
So he
everybody
takes it to the
hopefully
other
is.
side and everybody holds on. Sindri, there's a 17-foot gap between you and finally crossing this bridge 2 hours later.
Alright, Cindy's gonna like
Jump.
stretch his arms a little bit, like, alright, you all got me?
Yes?
No.
Supposedly.
Cade's not
Alright.
holding a knife, is she?
Ready to jump again?
Cade is in the front spot with the knife, just like, if he falls, the pressure will drag the rope across the knife.
It won't be me.
It won't be.
Personally, I say we let him fall about 50 feet and feel some panic.
Cade, how could you say that?
How's that right?
I ain't
is
holding the
Cade.
rope. If I hold that thing, he's gonna pull me down with him. No, thank you.
I've already started running, whatever's happening.
All right.
Athletics check, Sindri.
Boards cracking behind you.
Why?
All right.
You jump across
I
and
just rolled today with a 10.
you clear the gap and one heel hits on the edge of this 17-foot gap and you hear a creak but no snap and you just kind of fall onto the other side and you have made it across the gap and
Well, that's
you kind of
good.
stand back up like nothing happened and begin to cross and finish off to the other side, finally making it across this gap.
Easy, yeah.
Easy indeed. Whatever you say. Let's get away from the rickety bridge.
Has he made it across?
Yes, he has
All
finally
right.
made
I
it
hope we can all
across.
be in agreement. We are not coming back this way.
Oh no, I don't think we are. Unless I have my suit, in which case I think we might be alright, but in that case, I think we still go a different way.
Preferably we'll go around the island by boat.
Can we take the bridge instead?
Sindri, it's fine. You didn't drown, you're here.
said that the last time, and we almost sunk in the ocean.
Okay, what is the likelihood that another ship is going to fall out of the sky and crash us on another island?
Well,
I wouldn't
don't
say that.
Don't
Not with
our
everything that's been
chances,
happening
like,
here. Don't
50-50.
say that.
I don't
Ultimately
know.
the
One
same
down on
as
the
it
beach,
happened the
so
first
It
time.
could happen again.
For the number of times that I've been on a ship, another ship has fallen out of the sky and hit me, so I would say it's very likely.
I don't know if it's any consolation.
Sample
We
size.
most of the rest of us were just hanging out, doing our daily life, and got grabbed by that ship. But doesn't
See,
really
they weren't
matter.
even on the ship, and they crashed into the ocean on the ship. See, very likely.
Sindri, small lesson in statistics. You have what is called a small sample size. One instance that you
Yeah,
have
food.
an example of with one instance of the bad thing happening. The rest of
Yes.
us have a very large sample size where we have many instances of nothing bad happening and one instance of something bad happening. So you cannot apply
Speak for
your...
yourself.
And he just keeps going on and on into this, like, the words get bigger and bigger as he talks about statistics.
Okay, Sindri,
Sindri, he just calls you small.
how many times have you seen a ship fall out of the sky across your entire lifespan?
I've only seen ships for the past 2 weeks. So once.
So,
Sample size.
in your 20 years of life, only one ship's ever fallen out of the sky. In my 21 years of life, only one ship has ever fallen out of the sky. That's a pretty good track record, don't you think?
In my 20 years of life, I have seen this guy for a few weeks.
We're only going by 20 years. You ain't seen much at all.
Roland hears the H's come out and just kind of goes
Yeah.
and turns away.
As I step
Makes a
over,
little more
don't
sense
worry,
now.
Roland, I understand. I'm 29. I feel like an old man compared to all of these folk.
Alright, well, we're just doing ages now?
I think Oliver's just gonna roll her, or not Tove, maybe Tove also, but Jasira's gonna roll her eyes at all these ages.
Because I can't remember exactly, but I think I'm
Those
like
eyes and
160, 180.
And
Thank you,
then
Clyde. I feel better.
Right?
I was just trying to prove a point that
That's fine. The tall youngins don't really understand.
he's fine.
But is he? He's had a pretty problematic. Maybe he just draws problems. There are
I mean,
people
yes,
like that,
if you've
you know.
had this many
They
problems
just
in the
draw
first
legends
20 years of your life.
Didn't feel bad. He's been what, hanging out?
Well, my 20 years of life was very peaceful. I think the surface is the issue. That's what I'm going to go with. It's very dangerous.
Nah, see, I ain't never seen nothing like this before. This is kind of crazy even for us.
Well, at least that's good.
I think this is farther than just surface. You see, that thing was flying, you don't see that too much.
I would say I had never seen anything like this before, but that wouldn't be quite true.
Really, probably Sabine's the only one who's seen it. She seemed to like it. Unfortunately, she seems to have run off. Probably better for it. Weren't doing too good.
As you guys are all starting to look around, Cade, you notice further up this hill, this kind of path, a light through the trees. The darkness has come. It's now entered full evening, but there's some sort of light piercing through the trees a few 100 feet away.
Well, we feel like going towards the light.
Not sure why the heck not. What's the worst that could happen? Couldn't we just fall off a cliff or some other nonsense towards the light?
I think
Probably
we
gonna
can
be
find
some
things
other
with more
eyeballs
eyes.
that try and eat us.
Well,
Alright,
let's
bravest
keep
one of us
moving
go
then.
first. Not it.
At it.
Everyone simultaneously looks at Sindri.
Yes.
I'm sorry, what are we volunteering for?
Who's bravest?
Fearless leader to go towards the light.
Oh, not a
Who wants
problem.
to
I'll
go
go ahead and go there.
first towards the light? Everyone else
Why not?
behind
I'll
them.
go ahead. I'll step up. I'll figure out what they're going to do.
Perfect.
All right.
I step up. Put myself up.
Sorry, Nick, go ahead.
Put myself up and then just like concentrate a little, and you see my wounds like close a bit. I want to use second wind before we go.
All right.
Ah, wonderful.
Roland will hang near the back, and you see him like kind of checking his rifle a little bit, fiddling with like a little part that got changed, and then just going, slinging it on his back and pulling out his daggers and walking forward.
Yes.
All right, Sentry, you're going to be my backup here.
Thanks. Perhaps the people that can't see shouldn't be at the front.
I suppose. I mean, I don't know. I figured that it would be all
Here,
right.
the shot. Come here. You stand right in front of me.
All right.
Did you get your eyes pulled out too? Why can't
Clyde
you
is
see?
hiding behind the shawl. Nobody sees shit.
Sentry, not everyone can see very well in the dark.
That sounds awful.
This is why you're going to be my, what would I call it? My seeing eye boulder. That's what I need you to be.
Seeing eye boulder.
I like this name.
Very good. All right. So here's what's going to happen.
Seeing eye dog. You want to be associated with? I mean, you know.
Here's what needs to
each
happen. He needs to go with me, and I need for Roland to take
No,
aim.
because I don't want to go with you, because you can't see and I can't see. Why are we going?
Because Sentry could see, and Sentry's
The
going to
shot-
be
Hey,
my side.
Cade's gonna
this
push
is a mistake.
Sentry forward and start walking.
Yeah,
See?
Sindri starts heading off,
Okay,
Cade kind of
okay.
following, and the Schult and Roland both have torches or equivalent. So there is light around for you guys to see in the center here.
It's fine.
As you begin to move up. And it is
I
kind
don't know
of
why on earth you sheathed your gun. Did you take aim at these guys?
What?
I don't know. There could be something that jumps out, and I need
No,
you all
no.
to be ready.
How do you just put down the bangers down? I don't know what it is.
Whatever works.
I need to talk with you about whatever changes you made with it. There's something off.
Really?
You know, why don't you just stab things? You seem really good.
I'm not going to discount your ability to stab things, but in that case, we need to work out something a little different.
all right. Sindri, as you lead these this group forward as they're all just talking back and forth. Is there anything you're doing, or are you just headed straight up towards this light?
I'm just heading towards the light. No one has made any indication otherwise.
He's just bickering as we follow Sendry.
Yes.
Once seeing Sendry move, I suppose I'll make sure to be at least as close to him as possible, just to make sure.
And Clyde will be behind the Schalt. The Schalt is big enough to hide Clyde. Thank you very much.
I am a tall 5'9", so.
Cade's head's on a swivel, just kind of keeping an eye out for like if there's anything on the side path near this light.
Sure, give me a perception.
We didn't get a
check,
short rest since the fight.
No, we haven't
Not
done
yet.
jack
Okay.
nonsense. We gonna die. It's so good.
Just making sure.
What was that, Austin?
Perception check.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
For me?
No, for Cade. And she's watching around.
You work good. No one can see you. You are fine. This whole area is safe.
So Cade, you're watching, kind of checking around both sides, and the path is quiet. There's no more wails. The forest is, or really the jungle here, is significantly quieter than it has been for a while, and you just hear the bickering of some of the people behind you, and it's fairly still. And this light is just up in front, and as you and Sindri and the rest of you all get closer and closer, the light is erratic the way it's piercing through these trees. And you come around the corner and you see almost like this growth of natural organic material that is just emerging out of the ground here. It's pulled around some sort of large piece of stone, and arcing between these pillars of organic material is this light that is not quite magical and not quite fire, but just illuminates in almost this arc above this shadowy, blackened figure that stands maybe 8 feet tall with this broad shoulders. And as you catch sight of this, it instantly, you blink and it's gone. A mist of darkness, and you find yourself looking at this strange entity that is left. This organic construction where this stone tablet is laid out, and behind it, a glowing, almost doorway.
And we run.
Is this the city? Did we not go towards the city that likely has metal?
Shit, did we die on the bridge?
Yep.
Was that an answer to
Just
my
playing
question?
Yeah, Cade, upon seeing this, is immediately backing the fuck up and getting some distance.
You kind of
What's going on?
You pull back and
Please.
hold the others back for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sindri waves.
the jungle is... Sindri, what are you doing?
Waving.
Sindri, you look up and you just see the remnants. There's no creature, there's no entity. Only Cade caught sight of it before it disappeared.
Okay.
All you see is the organic structure, these strange lights that are curving around, this stone tablet in front of this, what almost looks like a doorway into this organic growth. If a burrow was just maximized to the extent, that's kind of what you're looking at, where this bark and root is just growing up around, and it's kind of formed this archway, and there is a glow coming from within.
What is the stonework? Is it like really fine stonework with runes and stuff?
Are you getting close to inspect it, or are you just taking a look from where you're at?
I mean, I'm in front of Cade, so no one stopped me. I'm just continuing walking, looking at
Sindri,
it.
stop!
What?
No, there was something there. I'm gonna pull out my
dogs.
I'm gonna pull out my spyglass, and I want to. You said it was like a doorway.
It's kind of a natural arch Again, this is this organic growth, and it's kind of formed. It's not a doorway. It's not clear, but it's kind of grown around to make an opening where this glow from inside is emanating.
Has Clyde heard anything about anything like this?
Make me a history check.
Ooh.
Or a nature.
History, please.
Short answer is no.
Oh. I don't know what that is. Okay, you turned into a monkey. You got any answers for this?
While I'm being forced to wait, I'm going to like hit my foot against the ground and activate my necklace to activate the Heart of the Mountain amulet.
Okay.
And like discreetly sense what everything looks like through tremor sense.
No thank you.
And if I'm too far away, I'm going to keep scooting closer.
Yeah, at the moment you are just at the moment you essentially get the area in front of you up to where the stone tablet is laid out, and Cade, you see as Sindri is slowly kind of inching forward bit by bit.
Sindri, just stop for a second. There was something there. This is not natural.
No, it certainly ain't natural, but it is intriguing. What is it?
Look at the beautiful stonework. Of course it's not natural. Someone crafted this, and it's beautiful, and I'd like to go look at it.
Well, it's not metal, so I have next to no interest in this.
I'm looking around. So the shadowy figure, did it just, disappear, or did it run off?
You blinked, and it was gone.
Alright, I'm looking around. Do I feel watched? Is there anything around? And I'm asking others to look.
Yeah,
too.
So I was going to say that once Cade mentions that, Jasira's going to start scanning the tree line as well.
Yeah, Cade,
Clyde is into this doorway.
Cade, why don't you go ahead and roll me a perception check at advantage with Jasira helping out here. And Thashalt, you swear that you see something moving in the shadows around you. You kind of turn and you see the shadows just on the edge of the torchlight just begin to shift.
I rolled today.
I have a question for you.
No, not
also.
as a party, we can't.
Yeah. What's up?
Does this appear to be a perversion of nature, or does this appear to be something that's much more maybe natural?
Give me a nature check.
With nature, maybe better. Is this some druid bullshit?
I clicked it. Roll20's probably just thinking about it for a second.
It's common, maybe.
There's only going to be a couple of them.
I'm just
because I clicked it.
aim down.
Fall back. Just keep clicking it until it comes through.
I was gonna aim down
Okay,
sights
there
on
we
my
go.
sneak weapon and just
That was
kind
like
of
a
aim
good
towards the shadows.
60 seconds.
All right, noted. Thashalt, and it's not like it was one spot. You kind of saw it on the edge of your vision. You turn around and you kind of are aiming in that direction, but you're kind of like watching everywhere, and the shadows just kind of seem to be moving for you. It's just
That's not good.
it's strange.
Fire your steam blasters. You're good at hitting shit that you can't see.
I am fully
last
aware,
session,
but there's a
only
lot
hit
of
stuff
it.
you couldn't see. It was crazy.
There's a lot of them out there, and I'm not going to fire on one if the rest are going to come attack us.
This is not the time. There's something out here.
Boko, as you
wait.
focus on this, it's not so much a perversion of nature as it is almost an extension. Again, these look like natural growths, but in a way that a burl grows on a tree. It is just kind of expanded and pooled and morphed into this almost structure that is risen around nearby where the stone tablet is. And what actually catches your eye is the arcing of light, which you can see as you pay attention is these 4 long strands of bioluminescent flora. You've never seen anything like it, but it immediately draws your attention as it's bright. And it illuminates this whole area for 30, 40 feet. But it appears to be a natural growth out of the side of this, of some sort of plant.
And these arcing lights, they're like moving almost like electricity, or?
No, they're not. They're kind of stationary, but it's not like a leaf. The the edges of it are less uniform, and it almost appears amorphous in a way, as it's kind of extended out, and they kind of move with the wind, but there's not much movement. It's just kind of this arcing light, and it's only as you kind of have paid attention here that you notice that it's actually a plant and not some sort of magical energy.
I think, having been lost in the sort of beauty of this, Boko would very absently be like stepping forward just to gather more raw information unless somebody physically stopped him.
Roland will put a hand on his arm.
Boko doesn't seem to snap out of it. He still seems locked in. It seems like there's a desire to move forward, but he stops.
Okay, that's enough.
Okay. Everyone, I just want to say there was someone there.
Well,
I don't know
where are
what.
they?
It was.
I don't know.
They were
if
gone
I
in a
can't
blink of
see
an
any-
eye.
See, damn
One
it.
can't see what is around one. Sometimes the best solution is to be quiet and listen.
Dude, we can look at it, but I'm just saying we're all in pretty bad shape. Maybe it's best just to walk away.
I'm inclined to agree. We can observe, we can mark the location. We should come back later if we wish to investigate. If there's things going on, we should not run straight into them right now. We are looking for a town. That is
And I
it.
don't think we're gonna find it tonight.
We definitely should not find another fight tonight. I don't think we will be as lucky as we were in the last one. Lucky. We've lost one already.
Cade's gonna kind of back up and kind of grab Sindri's hand to come on, let's back up together.
Only if we get to come back later.
That's fine. Sindri,
Why don't we
now's
come
not
back in the
time.
morning when we've had a good rest?
That I'm behind. I love investigating, I love looking around. Everyone is beat.
But maybe let's go back a little ways from the creepy portal plant thing.
Indeed.
And people
We were
watch.
less beat to skitters.
Yeah, what he said.
All right, so you guys taking steps back down the path away from this, back towards the waterfall?
I would hope so.
No.
Yeah, I think so.
Back to the bridge. We need to cross the bridge again to make sure
No,
we're safe
no,
on the
no,
other
no.
side.
Fine. I'm going to that shit. Y'all go first. Let's see if there's a bridge left.
So you guys begin to head back down in that direction, and you see that Boko is still kind of waiting on the edge.
Roland would be like, if he isn't moving with us, would be like kind of giving a light tug on the arm, like, come on. Screw that head shake.
It's natural.
It sure is, and if it's natural, it'll be there in the morning. Come on, keep it moving.
He has a point. If it is natural, it will still be there. If it is not natural,
We can come
don't
look at it
want
when
to
I can
mess with it.
see something. Instead of in the night.
could-
We're going eyes
so-
looking at us.
it's shedding light. You can see now. Like, all you have to do is be within 30 feet of it.
That's fine. Still don't want to deal with it.
Boko is going to speak in a low voice so that only Roland can hear. And he's going to say, I know this tugs at your curiosity as well. Two brains looking at this. We can figure out what it is. We will not go inside. But this is here for a reason.
Two brains looking at it can figure out what it is. And 6 swords are better than 2 for defending the 2 brains against what happens afterwards.
What if it is gone in the morning?
opportunities get missed? How many opportunities have you missed because you are on this island?
Thinks about that for a long time. He sort of cocks his head to the side. I disagree. Opportunities are not missed. Where we go is determined for us.
Oh, you're bringing fate into this. Oh, fuck.
And it's between you two, so now have this conversation with the tree man who's half broken over here.
Oh. You had to bring fate into it. Fuck.
If Cade sees that the whole group is moving down, but Roland and Boko aren't, she's just gonna take, 5 steps back and be like, look. This island is not right, okay? There's something twisted about it, there's something mutated about it, we've all seen that. You, and Cade looks at Boko, are beat to hell, your arm is barely still attached, got dropped 100 feet, a bunch of other people are eaten, someone was torn asunder. I think we best try this in the morning. If you want to go ahead and get yourself killed, that's fine. I'm not collecting your body. Roland, are you coming?
Boko hasn't stopped looking at Roland.
I will be there.
Don't get
Not
torn
going
in
to leave you
two.
yet. There are curiosities beyond what are seen here that I'm not willing to give up on.
Alright, well, you settle on just camping here tonight? And I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I could do with some shut-eye.
You folks go back and find a camp. I'm sure I can track a way to you. The crunchy.
Here's
leave quite a
just
trail.
shitty by the bridge. Why the hell wouldn't I sit here and watch you kill yourself?
Because if you are in view of whatever kills us, then you are the next target.
Boko will
Fine.
respond to that. He says, but you will have more time to run if it chews us up.
See, he's got the idea.
Or, you know what? You do the smart thing and you wait until morning when you're not
No
bloody.
smart things ever made a good story. Now this here is something worth knowing.
Vodka, because no good story started with, so I had a salad.
So we can stay?
Look, I ain't your dad. Do what you want.
You're
I
right.
think it's a
You're
bad
not.
idea, and I'm not going to participate when I've already been dropped 100 feet tonight. And I'm out of magic, and I know others are too.
Best stories start with real bad decisions, though, and I can feel one burning.
Okay,
I
can we mitigate
could
the
use
bad
a power
decisions? Please, everyone. Boko wants to stay. He wants to make sure that this does not disappear before the morning.
I'm fine.
You all want to be
camping here.
safe. You all want to be safe. So we will stay, Boko and I will stay in sight of this weird thing. And we will watch it, and if something goes weird, maybe we go investigate it, maybe we run. The rest of you go down the path and stay in sight
Walking
of
another
us.
damn foot. Clyde's gonna sit
You
down.
can stay right the piece of skeeters where you are. I don't care.
Boko's going to say something
Whoever
a little
wants to be safe
controversial.
can go down the path. If they want to look after us, they can. If they don't want to look after us, they don't have to.
See?
I got
Their
loud. I'm
lives
sorry.
aren't
Can we
on
please
you,
be
Cade.
quiet? In the middle of the woods, in the middle of the night, after having already been attacked by wolves.
It's
I mean,
going to
you're
take
the
off down the
loudest
path.
Boko's going to look at Sindri. And he's going to make eye contact with Sindri and say, Sindri, young giant, the fear of your captain is not the law of the group. Make your decision.
I like to stay and look at the stone. It's very pretty. Especially if there's a risk that it's going to vanish.
Oh, this party's so doomed. I love it.
However, I would request a power nap if we're going to be attacked again. But I'm literally 100%.
Yes.
We're not going to be doing anything strenuous, so this could technically count as a short rest.
Well, if you want to be doing
investigating.
short rest, I might be able to mechanically be able to work in an extra D6 for y'all.
If Cade is going to be walking back down the path, I'd probably just try and take her aside real quick. Cade, I think I probably agree with you, but I have to go say a few words to these folks before I end up going with you. I'd hate for you to be out here by yourself.
Look,
Just in case.
I agree with you, but the rest of these people are too fucking dumb that they're going to do the dumb thing.
Schultz, I'll say it once and I'll say it again. This island is not right. There's something weird about it, and messing with that when we're already half dead is just going to finish the job.
Okay, look, I'm a
That's
man of
why
opportunity.
I am trying to get a mid.
Oh, no, we're like
this is-
60 feet down
This
the
is
path
off
at
to the
this point.
side. Yep, this is the shout did pull.
You've already made
some.
a stupid decision, Roland.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
I can't say the shot.
Look, I'm saying that I wholeheartedly agree. I personally absolutely hate this place. It is completely devoid of metal, and I'm going to be honest, if I see any more of these stupid trees, I am going to be just greatly upset. But I would just like to ensure that they have some, I guess, spur of confidence, maybe. Anyway, like I said, give me a minute. I really would rather just go with you as opposed to walking down by myself. Because to be honest, after all of this, considering my current state, if I had metal, this would be fine. But I would rather have you by my side because to be honest, you seem quite strong. And worst case scenario, I can at least take a couple hits and you can do whatever you need to do. So 1 second, I'll come join you.
Cade will motion, but like you see Cade walk a little further down the path, and then you see her climb up a tree, and she's resting on a branch about 15 feet up.
Good, I'll be right back. I'm going to go and talk to specifically, probably Boko and Roland.
Okay.
Is Roland not very happy with Boca right now?
Roland is not very happy with the people who are loudly opposing making plans. You are not loudly opposing making plans.
I'm only quietly opposing it.
I will come up in a low voice.
I can deal with quiet opposition.
No, you've
opposition
made the
can
correct
be
assumption that Clyde does not do quiet.
Yes.
I have not been speaking loudly at all. I've barely spoken.
All right, so I will go up and talk to Boko first. Actually, just walk up. I can see that this clearly interests you. I mean, don't get me wrong. I totally see the value of an opportunity. I don't really know if this is my wheelhouse necessarily, but based on your particular tech, this does seem like it's something interesting for you. Are you sure that this is what you want to do?
Oko nods and says to the shawl, he says, "The captain is afraid that we will get ourselves killed.
I don't blame her.
We understand this place is hostile. If we die, it is what happens."
And admittedly, normally I would probably condemn you all to complete death. However, I've seen what your tech can do, and I have a feeling that if there's any way that you are going to get out of this, it's probably going to be between, well, you, Roland, and of course the rest of your party you're bringing with you should be able to provide some support, but I think you two will probably be the forefront.
Yay. I'm here.
Boko looks at the shawl.
I fully
Clyde
believe
ain't
you.
taking no damage all evening.
I'm mostly referring to the strategic side.
Hey.
I know that you can point Sendry in any direction you need to, and he will take it down.
I have a strategy. Its name is Hammer.
Yeah.
It's worked so far.
But
Yeah.
Only
I'm
on things that move.
I need for
Every
you all,
I
I need for you all to live through this. Because, to be honest, at this point,
I need you to live to be investors on my new Steam project.
In addition to that, I just happen to enjoy having you all as company. So
Boko will look at the Schalt, actually really look at him, and with a sort of sincerity, he says, I can tell you I do not wish to die. I will do all I can to prevent it, but this is here for a reason. It is a question I must answer.
as I led with, I definitely am a man who can respect spying an opportunity and taking it. So, I can't exactly give you any sort of words against such a notion of my own. So, I just wish good luck to you and, well, to see your face as soon as possible.
Boko will look at the shot. He says, if I find something interesting, I will share.
Good.
Like 100 gold worth of metal.
That would be ideal. However, I don't know if they're going to find it here.
There's just a block of metal behind the stone.
Just directly behind, it's just barely out of sight.
Yeah, I will find it, and then I will be able to actively hear the Schalt salivating 150 feet away.
Dripping.
And upon getting that word of confidence from Boko, I will walk over to Roland. Now, I know for a fact that he is now entrusted with one of the best gunslingers I've ever seen. However, you said there's an issue with your current firearm.
The aim is thrown off. The
Really?
changes, I can feel the magic in them, I can feel the benefits, but the aim has been thrown off from what I'm used to. We can discuss it later. I am quite good with my daggers. That is what I grew up using.
Oh, I'm absolutely certain you're good with your daggers. However, I can't possibly let some of my work be out there if not in its best state. Could I use my inspiration to fix up the gun, possibly?
I don't think you can fix my luck at rolling, Noah.
I know I can't, but I would like to at least try. Or at least give you the inspiration as a result.
Can I use my inspiration to make you better?
I will say that in this moment, as the Schalt kind of takes a few seconds to adjust some settings, that Roland, you already have an inspiration this session, but you can take a bonus one into next session.
Alright!
I would argue it's his rifle
I mean, there's
that
combat
has
next
the
section?
inspiration, not him.
Technically, it's my bayonet that has the inspiration.
For what it's worth, if you do, this may be the result of you not having a combat next session because he kills it in one hit. You never know.
Ooh. Well, we're all pretty fucked up, so we won't get our short rest, and then we'll die
see if that
next
makes things
section.
better or worse, because it's just another roll. But the Schalt
and
does
they
kind
come
of
so well for
adjust
us.
some settings quickly with the magic that he has imbued into the rifle before kind of heading back down the path to catch up with Cade.
Indeed.
And Tove and Jasira, in this moment, Jasira, what are you doing as all of this is happening? All these standoffs.
Well, I think the number one thing is she and probably like Tove, we know nothing about anything in this plane of existence. So she's probably just as curious as the next fellow. But
That's a phrase I'm afraid no one else has heard in this plane of existence.
I'm just saying, y'all are here. This is all internal monologue. So she would just kind of look over to Tove and just kind of say, "What's your take on this altar?"
These idiots don't even know how to cross a bridge.
Everything here, it makes my stomach churn. I think I have to agree with with Cade? What's their name? I don't like it. And I don't want to be in the earth if we don't have to be. I'd rather wait till morning and continue on to where the city is supposed to be and get off of here as quickly as possible.
In general, I concur. But, that being said, We only need 4 hours to recuperate, while these people need 8. It might be advantageous for us to oversee. Not too far, not too close. But certainly have someone alert at all times. That way we can rest, we can heal ourselves, and ensure we don't lose any other party members. After all, I don't think we would have survived that fight alone, would we?
I have to agree with you. I was nearly taken away myself. Would you like to keep watch first, or should I?
I'll take the first.
All right.
And so I think Jasir will kind of scooch a little closer to the altar, not too much closer, considering I think
You're about halfway in
like about
between.
150. Yeah, so she'll be like, we'll be roughly in between, but she'd want to be within whatever, I don't know what mathematical distance we would need, because I don't know how much light
Within
that's
sight.
shining. No, I know
It's giving
math.
off a good
I know by
amount. It's giving off a good amount of light. It's probably about a 50-foot light. It's
Okay,
probably
cool.
about 40 foot of that was bright, and the last like 10, 15 feet is dim.
Perfect. Then yeah, I think staying flat in the middle would be good for them, because they can still be in their shadows. But with their speed, they can
Close if they need
perk
to.
up and
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. And so Tove begins to go into her trance. Then back to the group who is staying. Clyde kind of sits down and begins to watch. Sindri, Boko, and Roland, you three are left. What are you doing?
Okay, Boko.
Clyde's still here with us too, right?
Yeah, but he's kind of watching off to the side. He's just kind of sitting down. He's not so much participating as much observing.
He's walked up with the folding chair and gone. Boom.
He's content to watch, see how this ends up.
Yep. But okay, Boko. The rest are tired. If anything happens, first of all,
Your arm was almost ripped off earlier tonight.
That's fine.
First of all, that's like third or fourth. First of all, I agree with you. This is here for a reason. It is very curious. I want to investigate it. I personally am doing fine. The rest of these people don't know how to keep their range from wild beasts and shoot from a distance.
Clyde is the healthiest motherfucker in this party.
We'll address that later. But
Debatable. My HP might be higher or slightly damaged than your HP.
All right,
Percentage-wise.
we're getting pretty late here, so let's watch the talking over everybody. Just a heads up.
Sorry.
You're good.
I'm with you. But we need to be careful. If something happens, we will need help. So, let's give them an hour. Let them rest for a little bit. Let them nurse their wounds. Recover some of their strength. And hopefully they will come to our aid if something goes wrong. Preferably, let's rest ourselves as well. And this most likely will not change before morning. If it does start to change and we need to look into it, then I am with you, I will help you, I will investigate with you. But, if it stays the same until morning, there is no reason to investigate tonight.
Boko thinks for a minute and he says, "What you speak may be true. But by the time we find out if this stays or goes, it will be too late. It will not be much effort to look, to seek, to find out truths here."
Look but not touch, yes?
Boko nods. Your mind
Okay.
is different than mine is. Together we can find much more than if we took looks alone.
Yes, I will look with you. We keep our distance. We don't touch anything. In fact, I don't think we should even enter the area illuminated by whatever that is. But we can look.
We'll
And
see
get
if
a
it
good
is
picture.
safe first.
Yes, I'm with you for that. But if we go in alone, and something happens while all of these new companions are not ready, we will die. And I am not ready to do that.
Boko nods. He looks at Roland dead in the face and he says, "Your caution, it is admirable. You are here for a reason. You chose to stay. You chose to find your truth here. It is no coincidence you and I stand together here."
I chose to run first, but yes, I am here.
Boko smiles at that. The first time he smiled.
How creepy is the smile?
It's awkward. It looks like there's some pain hidden behind it. Fine. Just looking for now. If it is safe, then maybe we will touch.
In an hour. We will look for an hour, while the others rest. After an hour, maybe we touch if it is safe.
Deal. And Boko is going to take a few steps away from Roland towards this amalgamation of beauty to him.
If you find any cool stoneworks, don't mess it up. I want to see that.
We have no intention of disturbing any.
Okay. I just want to make sure. I think you all forgot I was here. As I've just been standing just like right next to you two this whole time.
Just like right here.
As Boko doesn't look back, but he will speak directly to Sindri. He says, "No one has forgotten you, young giant. This stone tablet thing.
Nah, this is all a bunch of weirdness.
This seems to be up your alley. Perhaps the reason you stayed as well."
Yes, it is. It is the reason I stayed. That is exactly why I wanted to stay.
I admire your excitement, young giant.
All right. So while everyone else takes a short going into potentially a long rest, Boko,
Maybe.
what is it that you're looking for or looking at?
So I imagine that, and David, correct me if I'm wrong, but both Boko and Roland are just sort of slowly perusing this whole thing, just taking it in just from top to bottom. And their minds are wired very differently, at least from what I understand. Roland's appears to be very sort of logical and arcane, whereas Boko's is far more natural and abstract. And so I imagine they're sort of pointing things out to each other, perhaps things that would be better suited for the others' expertise or not, but just essentially combing through this whole thing at a very slow pace.
In a single sentence, Boko's the one that will say, "Oh, that mushroom is poisonous," and I'm the one that will say, "Oh, that's a tripwire."
Yep.
Clyde's just gonna watch this whole thing go down from the safety of a tree.
So, Boko, go ahead and give
Sindri
me.
is gonna want to watch.
Maybe.
See if he
We'll
can
see.
see how they do it, because he's never investigated ruins or anything. So,
And if we can just wait till tomorrow, I can tell what everything says, but...
Boko, give me a nature check, and
Ooh, actually.
and Roland, go ahead and give me a perception check based on intelligence.
Would you
Okay.
consider, since we're helping each other, allowing us
Nope.
maybe to modify the DC slightly?
It,
Add 2
yes,
to that.
it's being taken into account. Add 2? Okay.
Yeah, so it's an 18.
Nice.
I clicked on the whiz next to perception thinking I could change it, but it just rolled it.
It's all good. I don't know if you can change it in there or not. So we'll start out, we'll go up the line. Boko, as you're looking at this and kind of curving around, you can see first what is not natural. What is clearly built is this stone tablet, almost like a table. It would come up maybe to about your thigh, in the middle of your thigh, and across it, it seems that there are these black feathers, long and black, and you can see some sort of something on top of it. It's thin and either drawn on or painted on or spilled on. There's something across the surface, but you can't quite see it without getting much closer. And at least for now, what you're focused on is the outside. And what you can see around this is that there are large rings of metal that are actually held into this stone table. They're not big. They don't look expensive, but there are these rings of metal that are on the front and back, and then 2 smaller ones on the sides. And across the entire outside, there is some sort of what almost looks like a script. Some sort of writing or pictograph or something around the edge of this stone table. And looking past this, what more interests you is this massive amalgamation, this growth. The shape as a whole almost looks like a hut, where it starts out at the sides and begins to curl up, where these roots and natural growths are growing out to form this sort of roof above. And these bioluminescent plants just reaching across this archway that leads further into this. And as you see this hole, this opening, it gives out the same golden glow, but this one just pulses. Just ever so slightly, just begins to pulse with light from within this. And it's actually this light that seems to be cascading out the front and almost shining a spotlight on this table, this stone table in the front. And the growths on this natural amalgamation are natural, but they're expansions of it. They look unlike anything you've ever seen. And you've seen unnatural growths. You've seen the cancerous burls that go and multiply from where you are from where you have held. And in a weird, eerie way, this growth, this hut, is kind of familiar. It's not so much that you recognize anything, but just the shape of it, the way it's built, the way it is, it just gives you that pang of, oh, this is suddenly very real for me. And something that I can relate very closely to something that I'm very familiar with. And so it's not so much that anything you see is latching on to it, but the way that it's built, the way that it's shaped, the way that it's naturally incorporated, it gives you that connection in this moment, and you feel this innate tie. Roland, on the other side, you're moving around, and your eyes immediately go to this script, and in this darkness, or in this dim light around, with the spotlight that is coming out from the center of this amalgamation, you can see this writing across here. And you can see down to the details of what is present. These characters. But it's not a typical language. You see characters that are similar in nature to ones that you have seen written in Celestial. But they're not the same, and they don't form sentences or phrases. It's almost like you were looking at something that is translated, where someone wrote something in Celestial and then translated it into pictographs, and that's what you're seeing here. Where you pick up pieces that look familiar, but overall it doesn't make sense from this distance, and it doesn't quite pull together. As you are looking and watching, you can see that where this amalgamation has grown, there is a carefully trodden path in between this stone temple and inside. And you can actually see that what is there, it's not boot prints, but some sort of natural tracks. But what they appear to look like, it almost makes your stomach turn based on what you've seen. Because these appear to be something almost like bird tracks, where you can see the 3 extended toes in the front and the 1 pulled back. But they are massive. Larger than a human boot print in this ground. And you see it walking back and forth, trotting inside and out of whatever this growth is. And you can see that the brush along where this is overgrown has been cleared away. Whatever it was, it's been opened up, it's been moved through, and recently. And Jasira, as you're keeping watch in this darkness, as you're observing what is happening, seeing everything around, you see a shadow among the shadows. A dark shape that stands roughly 9 feet tall. Broad shoulders of what almost looks like a cloak. And from the angle you are looking, you see a large, extended beak. And you see 3 different glowing orange eyes on one side of the face. And that's where we're going to go ahead and end off the session tonight.
Oh.
Thank you so much for tuning in for this wonderfully complicated crossing of the bridge and this intensity that was here. This session is definitely going to get a new name because we didn't make it to Elysium like I thought, but you know, that's how it goes sometimes.
The bridge.
So it's going to get a different name, and hopefully next time we might make it to Elysium. Depending on what happens.
We'd have enough rope that I could just tie it off at the other end. But no, that didn't happen.
I loved it. This was
Almost
great.
in front of Elysium.
But we will catch you guys next week. Thank you so much, and please tune in next Thursday to see how this all resolves, because I am so psyched to see what happens. And we'll see you then.
Oh, that makes me
We
worried.
need to run.